There we go. Alrighty.
Okay. So at the end of the last session, you had fought your way into the grove portion of the Sunless Citadel, and on a message, on a mission rather, to find the Gulthias tree, which is the apparent source of all of these twig blights that have been attacking travelers along the road. You had also heard that this tree provided an apple, the midsummer apple in this case, which was extremely restorative. After fighting your way through almost over a dozen blights, fighting your way through a couple of goblins, getting blown up by a book, you managed to fight your way to the tree and to the dark druid that was controlling these monsters, called the Outcast. His name was Melik. By his side were two of the Lost Adventuring Party, including Sir Bradford and Sherwin Hucrella. Both seemed to be thralls of whatever dark power that Bellic was controlling. A battle ensued against the three of them and a pet frog and a few more twig blights. You barely managed to overcome him with a saving grace move by your wizard Kent. In the aftermath, you took a clear red potion that you had looted from a altar controlled by the kobold chieftain, Eustrail, and poured half of it down both Sir Bradford and Sherwin's throats, seeming to rid them of the corruption of this dark magic that influenced them. You took the time to return to town, and upon returning to town, Sherwin reunited with her mother, whose name now escapes me. I just said it a minute ago. Carowin, that's it. They reunited, hugged each other, wept over the loss of her brother, Hucrella's son, offered you guys to join the funeral, and at the same time, Carowin offered to sell you guys a bag of holding after you returned Talgin's special armor, to her, and she offered to sell you this bag of holding at a significantly reduced price, but the price of which she would sell it to you could be discussed after the funeral, which you have been given an opportunity to attend. Now, after being given that invite into the funeral, was there anything you wanted to do?
Give me 1 second. I'm trying to take care of something real quick. Druid or
I was gonna say, we just need to get what we came for. Safe. I know they were being attacked before, like travelers on the road. We should probably take care of that. I think we're going back into the dungeon at some point. Sense. We had the whole bottom half of the top part of the dungeon, right? To do.
Right. Well, you had a couple of unlocked doors within the top half of the dungeon that
a
you
couple
hadn't
locked
really
doors, and then
explored.
the whole bottom portion that we got that key from. We killed that kobold and took the key and never used it.
Yeah, the bottom portion of the dungeon you more or less explored thoroughly.
Like the downstairs.
Where the shaman was.
Where the dark druid and the tree was, that entire area of the citadel you've explored. The only thing you really didn't do down there was kill one of the fire snakes. That was it.
Yeah, in that wing.
Right. You left him alone.
Probably not a horrible idea at the time.
Seeing how the other one treated us.
I'm really tempted not to do anything until our treasurer gets back.
Yeah, we can just wait. It's not a big deal.
Okay. After, I will say this. After having attended the funeral at your own discretion, Sir Bradford had left ahead of you and really didn't even enter Oakhurst as you returned back, not really wanting to face Carowin or much of the rest of the townsfolk after what had happened a month ago. He had mentioned offhandedly to your bard that he was instead going to move to the city of Mirabar in order to report back to his superiors, and at the time had invited, and you guys don't really know this, but at the time had invited Will to help with the report of this on the Citadel and what happened. during this time, you might recall at the end of the last session, you guys had spent some time kind of pouring through the effects that you had collected over the course of the Citadel. And this is occurring back at the inn within Oakhurst, which is known as the Old Boar Inn. You guys have gotten a large table. You're kind of peering through everything. Now, Roran, you've been following the guide of your compass out to the west. You arrived in the village of Oakhurst maybe a day ago, and you've, from a number of different folks, have kind of heard what has been happening within the town lately, including these 4 travelers who have delved in and recovered a lost daughter to the town named Sharwin. And you're sitting off at a corner table in this inn, the Old Boar Inn, watching these other 4 who you easily assume to be the adventuring party, pouring through all sorts of miscellaneous things. You see a number of pieces of fine silverware, maybe a couple of jade statues, more than a few gold pieces, and more than a few arms. Though the innkeeper, whose name is Garen, seems to not completely mind at all that they're going through all these effects, including weapons, right in his inn, not feeling any real concern at all. However, as you're kind of looking at them and kind of looking offhandedly at what they're doing, peering down at your compass, you do notice that normally it's pointing in a specific. It's either pointing in a specific direction or it's spinning. But as you're looking down, you watch as the adventuring party picks up what appears to be some sort of scroll case carved in bone. And as it does, your compass immediately points straight to that. And from a distance, I would like you to make a perception check.
Good old perception.
Okay. Even from that distance, you can notice on the scroll case is a very, very faint symbol. It kind of looks like an anvil overlaid with a sword overlaid on top of the anvil. And that's what you see.
Okay.
Your compass is pointing at this thing. You can notice a symbol. What do you do?
I'm gonna think about the symbol.
Okay.
And do I get a reply? Anything?
From
yes.
I mean, you don't get any sort of telepathic anything back from no.
Okay.
It's just pointing.
And I don't recognize the symbol, do I?
Do we just see him standing there thinking really hard?
You guys
He's at a table in the corner, right?
You guys are at a table in the corner. You're not paying attention to any of this. You're all talking together about what you're going to do with all this stuff. Roran, go ahead and make a history check for me. With a disadvantage, because you're not from this area.
That's fair. History. What's history? Oh, there it is.
With disadvantage, you'll have a toggle up at the top of your character sheet.
Ooh.
Nope. The symbol is wholly unfamiliar to you.
All right.
Well, I'm glad he's off to a good start.
Hey now, come on.
Well, just think, without the disadvantage, you would have rolled a nat 20.
It's true.
It's true.
I am not from around here, though. Yeah, I'll get up and I'll just kind of casually stroll on over.
Okay. The rest of you, as you're kind of going through your effects, watch as this human man, and go ahead and describe yourself as you approach the party.
All right. So typically I'd be wearing a cloak with my hood up if I'm out and about, but seeing as I'm in a tavern, I'm not. I kind of longish, not long, but like medium length black hair. Bit scruffy. Wait, can't I just drag in the picture? Wouldn't that be easier?
But it's more fun when you describe it.
I know, right?
They'll see the picture later.
Yeah, bit scruffy. I'm wearing typical leathery related clothes. I don't know the best way to describe it. Kill it, disappeared. I feel awkward now. Yeah,
Just keep going. You're fine.
black eyes. Slick, the hair is slicked back as well, but I'm very well dressed. Is the best way to put it. I don't look dirty. I don't look like bad looking or anything like that. I'm definitely
A metrosexual?
Yeah, no.
He's got a little man bun all tied back up there.
No man bun. It's slicked back though. So yeah, that's probably the best way to put it.
Okay. Sorry, I dropped out of the call. I was trying to see if I could forward a call over to Pants because I do see him on online, but on Discord. But I can't seem to get a hold of him. I'm sending him a couple of messages, seeing if I can drag him in. If nothing else, Smock, you're going to control a bard for the time being. We'll see.
Go.
Yeah.
All right.
He's the best bard I've ever played with, so good luck.
You won't compare. So as you approach this table, are you saying anything, Roran?
Just gonna approach up and see if they say anything first as I
Okay.
approach.
At him? Like, I'm having a conversation with all of our loot, and you're just approaching. I'm just gonna be like, "What the fuck do you want?"
Yeah, no, that's fair. So I'm gonna just go ahead and straight up just point at the scroll thing with the anvil symbol on it, and just ask if anyone knows what that's about.
I thought you were going to do a Ray from the end of Star Wars and just like hold your hand there and point silently.
No, not that
bad. I look up and say, "Is there a reason you're asking? Can we help you in some other manner?" I mean,
honestly, I'm not sure. I just know that it's important for some reason, but I'm not entirely sure why.
I agree. It was pretty important after we killed a whole bunch of killed a whole bunch of goblins to get it.
Actually, I think we stole this from a dragon's nest, isn't that?
You had stolen it from the white baby dragon's nest.
Absolutely.
Is there,
We had to slay a dragon for this. I'm not going to tell him it's a baby.
Not only did we have to do that, we had to do it twice.
The symbol it intrigues me, I guess is the best way to put it.
Do you
Does
know
anyone
anything about it?
No, I was hoping that maybe you guys would.
Now, you guys remember that there's a parchment within this that contains some sort of cryptic message about Durgadin the Black, who who your bard is, who's not here, knew a tune about.
Durgadin, the Black.
Ever heard of them?
Have I?
No.
Have I?
I
Absolutely
mean,
not.
this is a question that I gotta ask. Do I get any response or any other notification if I look down?
Are you looking at your compass when you
Yeah.
have it out still? Okay.
Yeah. It's still in my
Your
hand.
Okay, as you look down and kind of think a little bit, the compass, and you've known this for a while, the compass begins to glow sort of a white radiant. And
Okay.
usually when it does that, it typically means you're close to something that it wants you to deal with or otherwise see.
I say, look, buddy, if you need directions, we're not from around here, but I'm sure someone else here can help you out if you want to
No,
just move
that's
along.
fine. I am definitely not from around here.
Do I notice the white radiant glow?
No,
No. Damn it.
just him.
I had a good microwave cancer joke, and that totally ruined it.
I ask if I can see it for a price. I just want to look at it.
A
As
compass, and then when you trade me back, I'll give you the compass back.
I'm sorry, but I am not willing to part with my compass at all. It is a keepsake, and it means a lot to me. I will give you gold to look at it.
I could afford a new one.
No, it's.
I'm just being a dick. I'm sorry.
I stop as I look at him.
Aren't you glad you started playing with us?
No, it's fine. It's enjoyable.
Yeah.
I look to somebody else at the table, and I repeat my offer of I will offer gold to look at the set.
As I sit there at the table with my arms crossed, looking at him with inquisitive eyes, he hears a tapping. But obviously my arms are crossed.
I take out my gold pouch and I pull out. I don't know how much gold you guys have, so I can't even compare to this.
I tell him he has to bring back a bag of holding for us.
Yeah. I'll pull out two gold coins,
Okay.
and kind of twiddle them in my fingers and just kind of hold it forward.
I say, well, there are 4 of us.
I reach into my bag and I pull out 2 more.
There's now 4 gold pieces sitting on the table, one for each of you.
Okay.
I'd say
You can look at it. I just want to progress.
Yeah, I'd say we put it on the table so he can look at it, but it must stay there.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay. So they pull it out.
As
they
I
pull
take
it
my
out.
gold piece.
Okay. You guys, so
Holy
you
shit.
each gain a gold piece. As you take out this piece of paper and you lay it on the table, Roran, you do get to you don't know Dwarvish, do you?
I do not.
Okay.
Common.
So the script on the page is or is unfamiliar to you. It's a language unfamiliar to you. You know it's Dwarvish, but you don't know Dwarvish. Now, looking at this, because of your familiarity with tracking down criminals, you do have, or you are familiar.
You're still here.
Okay.
There we go.
Sorry about that.
Okay, we're good. You're good.
Okay. I was hoping Pam logged in. You're familiar with hidden messages and coded maps. And glaring at this thing and looking again down at your compass, the radiant glow seems to glow a little bit more. You have every reason to believe that maybe this piece of parchment is hiding some kind of map.
Okay. I look up at everyone at the table and I question. Do any of you guys know what this is about currently?
We know it's Dwarvish. We don't know a whole lot about it, but
Hey, pants on his way. Pants on his
Yep.
way. Give
Yeah.
it 5 minutes.
Okay.
because the bard would be much better at fucking dealing with this than we are.
I think you would lead this as well. If you've listened to our previous ones, you know how that goes.
Nope, I have not.
Yeah, pet dragons are fun.
I didn't want a metagame because it was more fun. So
Okay, cut the audio for a second. Pant, are you there?
Yes, I am apologetic as all hell for being late.
That's perfectly okay. Let me catch you up to speed really, really quickly, right? You're at the table in the inn bar. You're at the table, at a long table in an inn bar, whatever. You're going over your loot kind of like you did at the last session. This human foreigner-looking character has walked up to the table, has offered you each 4 gold apiece in order to look at the parchment that is within the
1 gold apiece.
1 gold apiece. Sorry, 4 gold total. To look at the parchment within the bone case scroll that you got from the nest of the baby dragon. It is laid out currently on the table. They're not. Your party members so far have not allowed him to take it for themselves, only for him to look at it. And as I said, Roran, you have every reason to believe that this might be a map of some kind.
Yeah. So if nobody else knows what anything is about, maybe the bard does.
Well, we haven't really spent any time, looking at it. We discussed it at a very high level, and kind of glossed over it on the way to other things. It was something that I hope to kind of get to in between, coming back and going back out again.
I will offer you what I know about said parchment.
Okay, and you are this new person that we are interacting with now?
Yes. I haven't mentioned my name yet.
You haven't mentioned your name yet. Okay.
I will offer you guys what I know about this currently, if I can come with you.
I think it's a good idea, fellas, but I mean we have some things we need to attend to first. But
That's
you're
fine
more
with
than
me.
welcome to come with us. What's your trade?
My trade? Ooh, I don't really have a trade, I guess, per se. I'm a traveler. I've come from across the something sea. I forget what it's called.
I'll just say this: the sea for now.
Yeah, I've come from across the sea.
I come across the sea.
So
1 of 7, I hear.
I'm from Lake Verond. You guys may know more familiar with Returned a Beer,
so
possibly.
So let me.
You guys hearing this name, by the way, know that this is a town on a completely different continent, far, far to the west, or excuse me, east.
Okay, real fast. So just So let me get this straight. First, what's your name?
Rorn.
Roaring. So Roaring, you're a traveler that follows a
right.
broken compass that doesn't know where the fuck he's going.
I wouldn't
And-
say it's broken.
Oh, okay. All right. I got you. And
I'm sorry, I missed. Can I get a description of is it Borg? R-O-R-G?
No,
R-O-R-N.
R-O-R-N.
R-R-N, Rorn.
Yes.
All right, and you're human?
Yes.
Okay, and give it just a brief description so I can make a note.
Slick back, black hair, scruffy face, average size, 5'9".
Dresses like a metrosexual.
Yeah, very, very well dressed, well kept, so on and so forth.
Take a step back for a moment. Let us discuss.
That's fair. I go back to my table that I was originally at, and I order myself some wine.
No, I'm not that.
hold on one sec. Pan.
I say to the group.
Could you close those blinds, please? I'm sorry, I'm not talking to you. I was talking to my daughter. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'll close the blinds if you want me to.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Thaumaturgy.
Hey, guys, he's from a far off place. He's dressed pretty well. He obviously has some money. Maybe we could use that to our advantage. Let him come along and make him pay for things.
Hey, he already agreed to pay for the bag holding. So
What's your
did he really?
interest? What's your interest in the parchment?
Well, he's not with us.
Will ask.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
No, I'm curious as to what his interest in the parchment is.
Assuming that checks out, are you cool with him tagging along?
Yes, for the time being, I am provisionally okay with it. I'll try to remember the circumstances under which we found the bone scroll case.
It was from the dragons.
It was the dragon's hoard.
It was within the dragon's hoard. You found this parchment. It's laid down on the table, and Roran, although you haven't mentioned it to anybody, you have every reason to believe that there might be a map of some kind hidden on this thing.
Yeah, I haven't mentioned it yet. I'm waiting to see what they know about it first before I mention it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, I'm okay with it if you guys are, but it's a democracy. We're a group now.
I'm okay with it, but we hold on to the scroll.
Okay.
Right. Good deal. Can we call him back over? Is everyone cool with that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
We're here, little guy.
All right, I walk back over with my a glass of wine.
Okay. As you sit down, the introductions are made. He introduces himself as Roran. The rest of you introduce your characters. There's Roran. You are meet with Will Farrell, who appears to be a minstrel or a bard of some kind. You meet up with a wizard named Kent, a monk named who calls himself Friar Tuck, and Friar Tuck.
Okay.
And as you greet Friar Tuck, you can't help but notice he has an unusually fleshy-looking belt. And then you look a little closer and you realize maybe that's not a belt. I'll put it that way.
He's well endowed.
He's well endowed.
Yes, when I'm in town, I put it around my waist.
Why you tell me you don't care? I'll keep that in mind.
And he's a wood elf. And then finally you meet a Wanti pureblood, a snake man, who refers to himself as Sir Kurt Connors.
Okay.
And as you guys continue to sit there for the remainder of the evening, is there anything else you would like to do?
Well, I would like to ask them again once more if they know anything about the parchment, studying it. And if they say no, then I'll bring up the whole map thing.
Right. Now, Will, you don't know anything about Kundrakar, which was referenced on the map, but you do recall the ballad that your former master wrote about Durgadin the Black.
Yes, oh yes. I don't know, I'm well into the ballad.
He's getting it.
Hold on. I gotta pull out my sheet so that I can regale you with my...
Oh boy. Oh boy.
I gotta find it here. Where is it? Did you take it off my?
It shouldn't be. It should still be in your journal.
I have it on mine. I think.
Ah.
Yeah.
All right. That's right. By hammer and sword, the dwarven lord charged upon the orcish horde. And though he fled, the war chief's head now lies among the dead. He charged forth into the north in hopes of proving his lordly worth. Gotta work on that. It doesn't matter. He hunkered down and raised a town, its location a mystery to the crown.
I'm sorry, that's the best thing ever. You're the best bird I have ever met, and I played a bird.
Thank you. I'm here all week.
There's at least a couple of patrons in the bar who kind of half-heartedly clap as you finish the ballad.
Yes. Will Ferrell, Beethoven. Remember the name.
I will collect his tips.
There.
You collect Friar Tuck's tip.
Okay. One of the gnomes who looks to be a little bit elderly tosses you a silver. It's like
Very good.
All right. So at the very end there about the location, a mystery to the crown, I bring up that I think I know more about that, and that's what I talk about. That there appears to be a hidden map within the scroll.
A hidden map, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like a.
Not entirely sure because I wasn't able to get a good look at it due to the circumstances, but from my understanding, there's a map of some sort within the parchment.
I say trust needs to be earned, and you will most certainly get a chance to view this in a much more detailed setting.
Pant?
Yes.
Pressing up there.
Sorry. Loosening the windpipe.
Okay.
That's what she said. I have to write that one down. That could be useful.
Yeah. As I untie my cock and let it fall to the floor.
Just to not to ruin the flow, but just to close the book on the accounting. Can we assume that we sold everything for the stated amount? I posted everything in Discord. Can we just convert this to a coin per player, or?
Yeah, sorry, I think my audio cut out there for a minute. Yeah, if for anything that you had that had a fixed gold amount that I had mentioned as you traverse through, if you could, we could say that anything that had a fixed gold amount in general, you would have sold that off probably to Carowin for the fixed gold amount.
Okay. All right. So just to make a note, everyone gets 446 gold pieces, 3 silver pieces, and 8 copper pieces, except for Kurt, who gets 10 gold and 3 silver less. So he gets 436 and no silver, but he does get the 5 daggers and the 6 arrows. He basically bought it out of his equity. So we didn't sell those. He just took those.
Okay.
For myself, for Will is going to keep Caracas's gold ring and the silver and moonstone earrings and necklace for a total of 100 gold pieces. So I'll get 346 gold and the 3 pieces of jewelry. The Caracas's ring, when I regroup with Sir Burly Man, I'm going to see if he knows any of his next of kin that would want it. And the earrings and necklace, I think, might make a good thing to have, either for bribes or for gifts to lovely ladies.
Just a point of order, real fast. So we've divided that gold. I'm going to tell Roran that we have some business after we attend the funeral in a day or two, whenever the funeral happens.
This would have been after the funeral. This is all happening just after. Right.
Okay. Well, we're going to prepare to go back to where we just were, where we found this scroll. If you'd like to accompany us, you're more than welcome to do so. But in the meantime, I guess we just have to get a little bit prepared per character. Am I wrong in that? Guys?
I would.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Well,
I don't know what you mean either.
there's a bag of holding that you were supposed to look into.
Oh, yes. Yes. They did have a bag of holding for sale at the shop that we were considering buying for the party. So that would actually come out of the top line number before we divided the equity.
Well, I think maybe we should do that first and then split up the gold and then...
I think you're absolutely right. I think that's a proper way to
I
do
don't
it.
need any daggers, whatever that was that you said.
That was me, not him.
Yeah,
No, Kurt.
That goes to... Those daggers go to Friar Tuck.
I'm sorry, Tuck. I apologize. I had the wrong name.
So what? Sorry, what was the gold amount for me again? 436.
Well, wait a minute. We're gonna determine the value of the bag of holding. What would it sell for, Achille?
You don't know. You haven't haggled for it yet.
Go haggle.
Well, we should probably get that out of the way.
Let him look at the parchment so he can tell us about the map.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Here's the parchment.
Okay. So you're looking at this parchment. Are you allowing him to see if he can unveil some sort of hidden map?
Yeah, we'll spread it out on the table and allow him to look at it. But
I can't manhandle it.
No,
I've already looked at it, so that's how I determined that there was a map.
I would suggest you put your on the actual parchment on the table.
Okay.
Sorry?
I was going to say, I would suggest you put the compass on the parchment while it's on the table to see if it does anything.
I would like to, but I am slightly worried that some of you may try and snatch the compass from me.
You can keep your hand on the compass. Just make sure the compass touches the parchment.
Are you guys going to allow me this?
I'd be okay with it.
The parchment.
That was my idea.
Okay. I set the compass on the parchment, or I take the compass off around my neck, and I set it on the...
Okay. As you set the compass upon the parchment itself, you see another faint radiant glow, but this time it is, to you at least, far more brighter. The rest of you are watching what appears to be a faint radiant glow emanating from this compass, and as it does, you begin to see what appears to be color forming on the back of this parchment. It starts out as sort of the natural beige of the parchment, then becomes green. Here there's a shade of white. There's a shade of blue. And eventually it comes to look like this.
Okay. The more you know.
Do I recognize the name Stonetooth?
Make a history. You know what? No, you do not.
That's fair. I'm assuming that I do not recognize the area because I'm not from around here.
Correct.
Do I recognize this at all?
Make a history check.
History.
I would like to as well.
Go for it. Okay.
Okay, hold on. History.
Okay. Will, you've not heard of it before. Kent, you've not heard of it before. Kurt, although you've not heard of it before, you're well-traveled enough to know or at the very least recognize the kind of topography of the map. And judging by the design of it, you have every reason to believe this might be close to the spine of the world, which is in the very, very far north. It's a mountain range that legends typically say a lot of dragons like to inhabit up there. But this is probably a little bit further to the south where a bunch of old dwarf holds would have been.
So this is just south of the very far north. Is that what you're saying?
More or less. The exact location, you don't know.
Are you sharing that with us?
Yeah, I'll let the group know what I think about it. I let them know that I'm not like positive, but what I've seen in my long past, that's what I think.
Okay.
Just south of the far north, probably.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there anything else?
Will kind of traces his finger along this snake-like line in the southwestern quadrant of the map and says, "What is that? A road? A trail of some kind? Perhaps a river?
You see?
But it's not blue." And it just ends abruptly at the mountain.
There's a lot of switchbacks up those hills.
Might be a path.
I think this bears further investigation once our duties here are complete.
Can I take the compass and just go ahead and like slowly move it along the map, up and down, see if it lights up in any specific area?
Sure. Okay. As you move the compass up and down, you do notice as you hover above the mountain itself, it begins to glow just a little bit brighter.
Okay. I'll go ahead and just tap my finger right here, guys.
Where did you come from of this? Where did you come upon this compass?
My old mentor. He kept it in his belongings for the longest of time, but
does your mentor have a name?
Oh, he does. Torn.
Torn. So Roran mentors under Torn.
That's correct.
Interesting.
Killy.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see if I can just roll insight to see if I believe him.
Sure. Go ahead and roll your insight check.
Okay.
So what are you? So what are you trying to gauge about what he's telling the truth about his backstory?
Yeah.
Okay. Based on your insight roll, you have no immediate reason to believe he might be lying.
Okay. Just checking. New people.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Torn was a dragonborn, actually. I don't know if you guys know of them or have heard of both them.
You would have heard of Dragonborn.
Where I come from, that is where they originated from.
Okay. Boy, trying to impress us with where he's been. Jesus Christ.
Is this guy?
Okay. So,
you keep the compass, we'll keep the map, we'll stay in touch, and we can move from there.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Dragonborn. There's a song in there somewhere. I gotta find it.
Okay. So you've all divvied up your loot.
Well, no,
just kind of.
Before we do the
No,
divvying,
we're going to buy the bag of holding and then divvy.
Right. Okay, so you've kind of collected everything. You've decided what you're going to do. This is all happening as part of the evening. The night will pass. If you haven't already done your full long health stuff, make sure to get your health back, all your spell slots and everything. I'm hoping that you all got all your shit set up for level 3. I think you all did.
Painstakingly.
Yes.
What?
So
Level 3? No, I'm just kidding.
I have one quick question, Kill.
Sure.
So spells that I have prepared, right, at level 3.
Uh-huh.
How many can I have altogether prepared as a mage? I didn't see it.
Your prepared spells are equal to your character level plus your intelligence modifier. In your case, I believe your intelligence modifier is +3. So at a level 3, you can have a total of 6 spells prepared.
Okay, so I did identify, assuming I don't need to cast it on
anything.
Well, no, you can cast it as what you call it, if it's unprepared as a ritual.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for right now, I'm not going to go ahead and I'll wait till the end of the session to go over the other scrolls and stuff that we got the other night to put them into the thing, because that's going to be a little bit of work, and I don't know how to do that. So I will hold off on learning the additional spells from the scrolls right now.
Okay. If you're gonna hold off on that, you might as well just keep identify prepared, but or whatever. It's up to you.
Well, I'm going to prepare expeditious retreat in Greece.
Okay, fair enough. All right. So night passes, the dawn comes. You all are making your way out to Hugh Crutler's place, to the general store.
Yes.
Okay.
Guess I'll be staying at the inn while I do this.
Okay. So you're staying at the end. You're collecting yourself, eating up some breakfast. The remaining 4 of you head out to the general store in Oakhurst, which you may recall is run by what's the name of that place? Where's my notes?
The Nutella store.
Yeah,
general store?
Yes,
Nutella.
Carowin?
Carowin Crawler. Okay, so you enter into the general store. You do see Carowin is there and is more than happy to greet you in. You also do see Sharwin kind of hanging out in the back, but she's kind of keeping to herself. She looks up at you very, very briefly, gives a slight smile, and then just kind of goes back to her work. It looks like maybe she's trying to stitch her old robe a little bit together. And as you enter in, Carowin welcomes you in and says, Thank you again. Thank you so much. Welcome. Come on in. I assume you're here about the bag of holding, yes?
Yes, that's true, good woman.
Yes.
What were you thinking of a fair price?
Before you do that, Kelly, I would just like to say to her, it was a beautiful ceremony. The funeral was very well done, and we are still immensely sorry for your loss.
She responds, "You are simply too kind, dear wizard. You have brought at least one of my children back to me, and for that I can never repay you enough." And as you walk here in, it is kind of rainy today. It's pretty overcast. It's not especially heavy, but it appears to be a light drizzle. And you've caked in maybe a little bit of little bit of mud on your boots. But as you wander into the store, she seems not to be particularly concerned by this. She does grab out what she attests to being the bag of holding, and as she does, she says, "Typically, a bag of holding can sell for upwards of 5,000 gold pieces, but of course, due to the service that you provided for my family and for the armor that you've returned of my son, I am of course willing to offer that at a significant discount, especially for the return of my son's armor. I was thinking perhaps around the vicinity of 1,000.
1,000 gold pieces, Will says. A fair price, but if I might propose, we as a group have made a realization that there is much good that we can do here in these lands. We tend to set ourselves to the cost. If you could perhaps consider it lowering the price somewhat as an investment in that good that will be brought to these lands.
Go ahead and make her persuasion check with advantage. She responds, "Well, you certainly proved yourself, certainly to my family. I'll tell you what, I'm willing to go as low as 700, but I'm afraid I cannot do much more than that."
700, I look over at my fellows and, give them that's a really good price for this bag of holding look. And I say then we have an agreement. 700 gold and our thanks.
All right, she takes it and once again thanks you profusely for your help. And now you got one of these.
Nice.
All right, so minus
700.
700. Okay, that drops player equity to 271 gold, 3 silver, and 8 copper.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, no, I will. Hold on.
She, as you make this exchange, she says, "Is there anything else I could possibly provide you with?"
I will say yes. I'm looking for a spell pouch and some materials for myself.
Is there a specific kind of material you might be looking for?
Yeah. What the hell did I do with the thing I wrote it all on? Hold on. I'm looking for some pork rinds. I'm looking for a handful of pieces of cured leather. And if you have it, though I doubt you do, a couple, a small vial of bitumen.
Bitumen? She says, "I'm afraid I don't know that we have any bitumen, but for the rest of that," and she begins to kind of fidget around the store, kind of looking and grabbing, and collects the remaining material and puts it on the table. And she says, "For the total of this, I think it might be a total of let's say 20 silver.
Okay. What did we just say? 10 silver is 1 gold?
1 gold is 100 silver.
1 gold is 100 silver. Fuck, I'm bad at making change in real life. I will go ahead and do that. I'll just subtract.
She'll give you a change.
Okay. That's fine. And I need a pouch to put it in. Was that okay? Good.
She says you can have the pouch as on me.
Thank you very much, Ukrella.
Thank you. Now, as this exchange is going on, Kurt, are you making your way up to Sharwin?
Thanks. Oh yeah, I'm talking to her. You said she was sewing, right?
She seemed to be maybe sewing. Maybe as you look, she looks like she might be sewing her old wizard robe that she was wearing when you met her within the dungeon. Right now, she's wearing what appears to be maybe a plain dress and some plain clothes.
I tell her when we were trying to free her from the grasp of the druid, and if she needs any help, I have some nimble fingers I can help sew.
She responds, I think I can handle this myself, thank you.
If you ever need me, you know where to find me.
She looks up just before you leave, and she says,
Yeah.
I'm afraid I don't know much about you or where you come from, but you and your compatriots have done us a great service, and I shall never forget you.
I give her a wink, and I head back over to my friends.
All right.
Garen, is there anything you need to buy, buddy?
I don't believe so. I'm enjoying this whole back and forth between Kurt and his new lady friend. So as I hold my penis in my hand, I point at her and wink.
She, without even looking at you, takes her robe and wanders into the back room.
Oh, you drove her away. You scared her.
Or inspired her.
Or inspired her.
For crying out loud. Okay. Aside from lifting your dick and winking at a woman, hoping that would get you something, is there anything else you would like to do in this little tiny merchantville?
Has anyone?
No.
We should probably ask somebody about the map. See if they have a better idea where it is.
I have written down. I mean, I remember we talked to her something about a reward if we brought someone to justice, or is that did I misremember?
The reward from her, which you received at the end of the last session, was for returning either the signet rings of her son and daughter, or returning with either
the Hercule woman. I'm talking about the elf woman, the constable.
She didn't offer you any sort of reward. She just told you what had happened. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to consider start a new item list, since I'm going to consider everything previously obtained sold, and the gold is now disseminated as per what I put in chat.
Okay.
I'm sorry, you want me to put it there, so I'll put it. I put it in Discord chat. I'll put it in this chat.
Okay. There you go. All right, so you leave the general store. You have decided to wander back into the Sunless Citadel for any remaining potential treasures, as I'm given to understand.
Yes, and we should probably pick up our new friend Roran.
Yeah. Let's take Roran with us. Give him a little field test.
Yeah, this would be a good test of his abilities.
Okay.
He says he agrees. Let's see if he can stand up to the same rigor as the rest of us.
Okay. You wander back into the Old Boar Inn. You see Roran kind of finishing up the last of his breakfast, and he gets up. Roran, is there anything else you would like to do before you head out with these guys?
Nothing at all.
Okay. All right. So you head out. For the sake of expediency, we'll say you make your way easily through down to the entrance back into the Citadel itself. And as you wander back down and kind of begin to explore the general area, first off, as you wander back down towards the road, all of you see what appears to be maybe a flying snake, and as it does, you watch as Kurt just kind of lifts his arm and it circles around his arm and kind of licks him on the face.
Oh, hey Jafar, welcome back. Guys, I want you to meet Jafar. He's my new friend.
That's nice.
That is interesting. Have I ever seen something like this before?
Oh, okay. You've probably seen flying snakes before. Seeing them act as pets to different people is not entirely uncommon, although it's not so common in your part of the woods.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And I was giving them all the rundown. I'm gonna text my coordinator.
Sorry, Kurt, you're no longer the prettiest snake in the group.
Oh.
Was that mocking Michael? Or...
No.
Right.
There's a trap hole right there. Right here. I point at it and I say, don't fall down the trap hole at the beginning of the dungeon before we actually enter it.
Okay. I walk around it, I guess?
Yep.
Totally would never happen to me.
Pant, mute yourself.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's what I'm going to talk to you about after the raid. We'll figure that, or after the thing.
How, never mind.
Does everyone just move their character on their own, or?
Yeah,
Yes.
You should be able to move your character. If you can't, please say something.
No, I'm good.
All right. Okay. So, as you're wandering in, I'd like to remind you there was a large mechanical door, the key to which you received from the mouth of the Dragon Throne down to your south. And at the top of that, there's much of the kobold area you really haven't explored. There is the stone door with skeleton dragons on it towards your north. And there's another locked door close to where the dragon was being kept as a pet.
I would like. I know that we have the key to the door, guys, but should we see if the kobolds are still here, and maybe search around? Did we get the impression that they had all left?
As you've been wandering down into this part of the Citadel, it's been quiet. It's been deadly quiet. And although you really haven't taken the time to explore where the kobolds are as of yet, there's, from previous experience as you walked out and everything, there's nothing that seems to suggest that any kobolds, any goblins, anything really seems like it's hanging out within the common parts of the Citadel itself.
We'll check back there later if you guys want. Sound good?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's several doors back in the...
Yeah, we might as well go this way first. We're here.
But yeah, I mean, this is the reason why we came back, so let's check this out.
Well, amongst others, but yes.
Okay, so you're just plucking the key into the door, turning it?
Oh, I think we're going to listen at it first, right? Is there anything on the other side?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You hear, at the moment, nothing.
That's the key. Go for it.
All right.
Okay.
All right. As you enter this key and turn its mechanical lock, there is a soft hissing noise and a puff of dust as the door opens, indicating that the chamber beyond has not been traversed in a very, very long time. As you enter in, there is a layer of dust covering everything, every surface of what appears to be maybe some kind of large gallery. And as you enter in, there are 3 alcoves to the north wall, one to the south. Each of them contains a dust-covered stone pedestal with a crystalline globe that's about the size of your fist sitting upon it. All 3 of the ones in the northern alcoves are cracked and dark, but the one in the south is glowing and has a soft blue light. And as you enter the room, you can hear what sounds like faint tinkling noises coming from it.
All right. I look through the door and check for traps.
Make a perception check.
On the ground.
Nope, no traps.
Oh,
all right. Looks safe to me, boys. Come on in.
I would like to go down toward the orb and see if I can figure out what it is.
Okay. As you approach the door, or excuse me, as you approach the orb, I'd like you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, bitch. Wisdom.
I went the wrong way.
Okay. Kent, as you approach this orb, you hear what sounds to be loud music that rings your ears, but you kind of stave off whatever magical effect that this thing has, and you again look at this orb and hear once the music begins to fade, you once again listen to the tinkling of this orb.
Okay, I shout to my friends, stay back for a minute. Something almost overwhelmed me. can I see if I know what this is, like through um, Arcana or something like that?
Sure, go ahead and make an Arcana check.
No, fuck.
Nope.
While he does that, Will like to examine this globe over here.
Okay.
Does it appear? He's trying to figure out how it broke. Did someone smash it? Did it crack from within? Is it a hairline fracture? Does it look like it's really destroyed?
Sure. Go ahead and make a perception check. You glancing just at the globe, the exact measure by how it was destroyed is not immediately clear, but you can glance that based on what you can see about this globe, you think it maybe, and what about this room, you think maybe this was a musical gallery of some kind, and the globes had maybe some sort of pre-played music that emanated from them. The three in the northern alcove here all look like they might be of similar make or style to the one in the south, but of course they are cracked, and whatever effect they have once had is now gone.
No way. Will is going to kind of step into that alcove, if he can, as much as he can,
sure,
and begin to play as well as he can to try to test the acoustics and see if his music has any effect on any of these globes.
Make a performance check.
Okay. Bam. Okay.
Your music resonates with the magical charm throughout the chamber. Unfortunately, the cracked ones don't seem to give off any sort of effect, but the one in the south seems to give off a magical aura of some kind. In fact, almost coincides against your magical area, and although you're not entirely certain what the effect was, it seems like whatever magical effect that the southern orb seems to have had has otherwise weakened. And as you begin to perform a little bit more, Kent, as you're nearby, the music that this thing was once playing now seems like it's replaced by what Will is playing.
Will continue to play.
Hey, I can hear you playing over there and over here. It's like something... It's like stereophonic almost.
And even after Will stops, you hear it goes back into its soft tinkling for the rest of you. But Kent, you can continue to hear the notes that Will was playing now.
I have no idea what to do with this orb, guys.
While all this is happening, can I just go ahead and approach the other door?
Sure.
Give it a quick check.
Sure. Are you just kind of listening to see if there's anything on the other side?
Listening and just taking a look, see if it's locked or anything of the sort.
Okay. As you kind of test the door, it doesn't seem like it's locked in any way. Listening in, you don't hear anything.
Okay. I'm just gonna kind of let everyone know. Hey guys, this door doesn't seem locked, so
Well, all this is going on. Kurt is playing with his flying snake.
We can probably just keep going.
All right.
If we don't think,
That on the way out, then I guess.
Can the globes be moved?
You haven't tried yet. Looking at it, and as you kind of try to move them around, you think, they could probably be picked up.
I might have to grab this on the way out. Very good. Mental note.
Okay.
At the door.
You open up into a 20-foot long corridor. The air here tastes stale, and you see another closed stone door off on the western end.
Yeah, I'm going to check for traps.
All right, make a perception check. You can't see anything.
just take a step back.
Go for it, man.
No, it's all you guys.
Will,
you guys have been here before. I haven't been.
Will turn to the others and say, let me scout ahead. And he'll move up to the next door.
I reply to Roaring, we haven't been here before.
Ah,
okay.
I am mistaken.
Pant, you make your way to about there, and you hear underneath your feet, click.
Oh, leap back.
Go ahead and you know what? Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Wait, where's my okay? Saving throw, dexterity, bang.
Okay.
I'll use a die of bardic inspiration on that.
Go for it.
Just feats don't fail me now.
All right. You basically listen, and just at the last minute, you basically matrix as this arrow shoots out from the wall to your side and pings right against the other side of the wall. You leap back, and you make it very, very clear there's a pressure plate. It's not covering the entirety of this.
Sorry.
It's not covering the entirety of this floor, but you can sidestep it.
Okay.
I rinsed it off.
So you can now see where this pressure plate is, and you can sidestep it to the other room.
Tuck, hand me one of those daggers that you just picked up, will you?
Sure.
And I'll jam it in like we did the others.
As he's about to do this, I mentioned I probably have better tools for this than a dagger.
Did Jimmy it?
Oh no! In that case, Will kind of,
I will move out of the
professorial raised eyebrow goes, "Oh, by all means," and his hand twirls the dagger and then hands it hilt first back to Will.
Okay, Roran, are you trying to disarm this trap then?
Yes.
Go ahead and make a check with your thieves' tools.
Oh, thieves' tools, eh?
You easily disarm this thing. The pressure plate is no longer active.
See?
I am duly impressed. I am duly impressed.
Where was this guy when we were falling? Well, when two of us were falling into pits left and right.
Locked doors. I say, I know just what to do with you. Just like the sorting hat. then we keep going.
Okay. Are you making your way into this next room?
Well, might as well.
You've made me all too cautious.
Okay. All right.
Oh, fuck me.
So you enter into a room covered with dust that seems to make the floor almost look like gray snow. In the northern end of the chamber, rounded, stands a 10-foot tall sculpture of a coiled dragon carved from what looks to be red-veined white marble.
You want me to go first again?
I'll go. Well, I'm going to look for traps before we go do this again.
That's probably smart. I'll also survey for those trappy dappies.
Perception?
Yep.
Are we in the room, or are you just standing on the outside of the room?
Stand on the outside. It's just hard to move on.
Okay. You don't see anything that suggests there's any sort of trap.
A guy can fly around.
Okay. Nothing happens. He flies around the room.
I'm going to go inspect the dragon statue, because it worked out so well the last time.
Okay.
Oh man, is that a Chardalon? Do I know that? Can I make a roll to know if that's
it's not a Chardalon as far as you can tell. Now, Kent, as you approach the dragon,
fuck me.
The mouth of the dragon begins to move as if it's speaking, and all of you hear the dragon say, "We come at night without being fetched. We disappear by day without being stolen. What are we?"
A shadow?
No, don't answer the wrong answer.
At night.
No,
the wrong answer. I was talking to you guys.
Oh. Don't just blurt it out there. Don't blurt it out there. This isn't Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
If someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
Yes. All right. What was that one more time, Killy?
I just showed the handout to you. It shows the statue, and it gives you the riddle at the bottom.
Oh, fuck me.
And I reread. I'm wrong.
Will leans over to Duck and goes, "It's the stars," and whispers, "It's the stars, of course."
I would agree.
Hi. But I don't hear him.
Okay. What are you doing?
Will just go, "The stars."
Okay. As you say it out loud, you wait just a minute, and then all of you hear the sound of shifting stone to the west as a secret door opens.
Oh.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yes, thank you. I'm here all week. How does it open? It just sinks into the floor?
It slides open, and it reveals the next room to you.
Ah.
So I just have to reveal the area, yeah.
Okay.
Reveal away.
All right. You watch peering into this room as this door opens. Dusk cloaks the contents of what appears to be maybe a 20-foot wide hallway. There are six alcoves on the wall, 3 to the north and 3 to the south. Each of them, except for the southwest one, holds what it looks like a humanoid figure carved of the same red-veined white marble that the dragon is carved of.
Okay.
The figures, as you look at them closely, entering this room, even not that closely, they all look like tall elves in plate armor. On the far west is a stone archway above you that leads into some sort of wide room, from which you can see a greenish light glowing. Before that archway is a dark pit.
I'd like to search this room just to see if I see anything or if I can.
Two direct questions. One, is there as much dust on the floor here as elsewhere? And two, are those footprints leading from that alcove into the pit?
You know what? Go ahead and make a perception check with advantage there, Will. Those do, in fact, appear to be some kind of footprints. The tracks are filled in enough that it looks like the disturbance that must have occurred dozens of years ago. And as you get a closer look at them, they look like they were made by tiny humanoid feet that had claw-like nails. They begin in the center of the alcove, move west towards the pit, and then disappear into the pit.
Can I go ahead and slowly walk over to the pit?
Sure.
Well, I'm afraid these are going to shoot arrows at us. Can I have my my little?
No, I'm already moved over.
Oh, okay.
Okay. As you move to the edge of the pit, you can clearly see there's some sort of green light emanating from the opposite end of the room, from across the archway to your west. And you think you might see some sort of stone structure up there, but you can't make it out quite from where you are, not without crossing the pit and climbing up. The pit itself looks like it has spikes covering the bottom end of it. And as you approach closer to it, I'd like you to go ahead and make a survival check.
Oh, this isn't going to be good. Oh!
Okay. It looks like the tracks... You can barely make it out, but it looks like the tracks continue on into the west there somewhere.
Is there anything in the pit?
Spikes.
Yeah.
Is say that missing 6 statue in the pit?
Yeah, is there anything else in the pit besides spikes? All right, yeah, I just point at the pit and I go, hey guys, spikes, be careful.
What? Will is going to investigate that alcove. You say it's empty?
The southwestern alcove does not have any sort of statue.
Lost you on chat. Lost you on voice room. Kelly. Kelly?
I'm sorry. What was the question?
The alcove.
What about it?
I'm investigating it. There's no statue there. There's nothing in there.
There's no statue there. It's the one alcove that appears to be empty. All the other 5 alcoves have some sort of statue that looks like maybe an elf in plate armor. Will
investigate the walls, knocking on them with his trained ears, seeing if there's any change in the sound. Perhaps there is a door leading around the pit.
Sure. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Oh, look at that.
So we'll take
forgot to take it off.
Okay. You're wandering around the wall, kind of knocking around with, let's say, a stick or something. You get to about the southern alcove here, and it sounds a little bit more hollow.
Behind the statue?
Yes.
Does the statue move? Can it be pushed back, shifted anyway?
Judging from as you get closer to kind of inspect this thing, you look like maybe the statue pushes inward.
Yeah, I mean, further, like deeper into the alcove, like into the wall, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, are there tracks on the floor that might indicate such movement?
If there are, they've been long since covered with dust. You can't. It doesn't seem that way.
All right, we'll give it a heave.
Okay. You push inside, and you can see what appears to be some sort of secret room.
And what does Will see within the secret room?
Okay, as you enter the room, there's dust coating this tiny little chamber, and there looks like maybe some kind of runes inscribed on the southern wall, but they're obscured by the dust.
Yeah, he's not going to read those. Last time that didn't end. Kent.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Kent,
I'm coming.
We need you, sir.
I would like to read them, but not out loud.
Okay. Not reading
If
them
I
out
can.
loud. Do you understand Draconic?
Yes, I do.
Okay. It reads. It reads, a dragon priest entombed alive for transgressions of the law still retains the honor of his position.
That does not sound like a spell, but I'm afraid to say it out loud to Will, because last time I said something out loud. Or rather, last time someone messed with one of these out loud or threw a rat or whatever at it, it nearly killed me.
While all this is happening, can I go to the opposite wall and give that a little push?
Which wall would that be?
Directly opposite, so right here.
You push along, the statue didn't seem to budge.
All right.
I'm going to tell Will what it says. Will, now you know what it said. Apparently there was a dragon priest that was down here, entombed alive.
I say I have no problem saying that aloud.
Okay, as you say that aloud, are you saying that aloud?
No, I mean I want. Whoa! I was gonna tell him I'll get them out of the room. I'll walk in and say it.
All right, if you want to let us get out, I'll get out.
Sure. No, okay. All right. I'll say it aloud. Whatever it was about the dragon priest.
Okay, you say it out loud. Wait a minute. Nothing seems to happen.
All right. It was a dud. Sorry, guys.
Did he say it in Draconic or did he say it in Common?
Draconic. So I could say it in either. I think before I was saying it in Common, and the spell would work. So.
Well, for the sake of expediency, you try both. Nothing happens.
Can I go ahead and walk back to the dragon and say it in Draconic to the dragon statue?
You can. You walk back to the dragon statue. Nothing happens.
Saying it in Draconic, nothing happens?
Nothing happens.
Which wall were the runes on?
Do nothing.
The southern
wall? The southern wall.
We'll check that wall to see if there's anything maybe behind it.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception check.
Maybe a buried priest.
There's nothing against the southern wall, but it does look like maybe there's some sort of secret door off to the western end here that leads into...
Will attempt to move the wall in order to get through it.
Okay, it looks like the secret door kind of pushes up, and as it does, and you look inside, it looks like it goes into some sort of 3x3 crawl space, just small enough that on your hands and knees you might be able to get through.
Let's call the others. I'm hesitant to go further without everyone knowing what we're up to. So,
guys,
Roland, Tuck, Kurt, come see what we have found here.
Guys, this place is like Webster's house. There's all kinds of secret entrances.
Will say, I'm going to scout ahead. Yeah, I'm going to scout ahead and see if I come out on the other side of that pit.
I'll follow you.
I'll go with you too.
All right, so Will's going to enter the...
I'll stay here.
Yeah, I'm also going to stay
on his
here.
back, and he's going to make his way down.
Crossway.
Okay. You two are staying back there?
Yeah.
Okay.
And when I get to the corner, I'm going to peek around.
Okay. It looks like it leads to... Okay. Let's say Jafar follows behind the rest of them. As you peek around, it looks like it maybe leads into another stone door, secret door that pushes up.
All right, I'll try maneuvering that door as well.
Okay. As you push the door up and get a good view into this room, you see violet tiles that cover the floors and the walls of this place, although all of them seem to be cracked or broken. There are sconces attached to the walls at each corner, one of them holding a torch that is alight in green flame.
Green flame! No.
Yep, exactly. There is a marble sarcophagus in the middle, easily 9 feet long, lying in the center. The coffin looks like it's carved with dragon imagery. And without getting a closer look at the sarcophagus, you do see what appears to be some sort of weird greenish-looking creature who appears startled all of a sudden and jumps jumps a little bit and looks like he might be moving to attack. That particular green creature. Where's my hand now? This is Jaunt. This particular green creature kind of looks like that.
Oh,
And I'd like you all to roll initiative.
Sure. Hold on.
And while this is going on, I tell Jafar to go tell the others to join us.
Okay.
Initiative.
I'll do that.
Yep. Smock, I'm not giving you this character, but I may give you another here.
All right.
Can't find it. Where's it at?
Got it too.
Top middle of your sheet.
Top middle. Got it.
Right above your
Hey.
hit points.
Okay.
No valid token was selected. What happened there?
You have to select your token when you do it. It will. What was your roll? It was a 20.
20.
So I'll just add you to the turn roster here. But when you roll initiative, you just have to make sure your token's selected.
Perfect.
So.
Yeah, otherwise it doesn't share with the rest of us.
Right. Okay. So Jafar, the flying snake, actually goes first.
And he's gonna run back and communicate with me that something's going on, so that I can tell our friend up here.
Sure.
And how long was that?
25 feet.
30. And then he'll move back to where he was.
Is his fly speed 60 feet?
That's 60. There we go. All right, that's it.
All right. Kurt, your turn next.
All right, I'm gonna jump in. 15, 20, 25, 30. Let's go.
All right. Rory, you're up next. You
How
kinda
big is
heard
it?
this enough.
How big is this gap?
It is about 10 feet across, maybe a little bit more than that. You have to jump up if you're going to try to do something like that.
Jumping up. Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah, no, screw that noise. All right. So
Here in Garnigan, a Roran story.
So that's 10, 20. I'm assuming 30.
each square is 5 as a rule of thumb.
So you make it there.
Yeah, each square is 5. Okay.
Yep.
All right. I assume that's your turn for the time being then.
Yep.
All right. Tuck, you're next in the initiative order. However, Will's kind of blocking the way.
Yeah. Can I push him?
Move him for half your movement.
In these cramped quarters, you're right behind him crouching, and he's crouching too.
You can't push him. I'll allow it.
Come up and move him.
Just make a strength check.
Sure. Oh.
How high up the wall are we?
3 feet. It's a 3-foot crawl space.
No, but we're coming in at ground level.
You're coming in at ground level for this room.
Okay, that's what I meant. Yeah.
It's about 10 feet higher than this chamber.
No, but if he pushes me out the hole, I'm not going to fall.
No. You're going to be pushed in at ground level.
Got it.
Unfortunately, 7 is not enough to push your butt out the door.
So I guess I do nothing.
Kent, you're up next.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
If I might recommend just holding.
That's what I was going to do.
Preparing a dash action or something.
I was going to hold my action until after Kurt moves his Bardic ass out of the way.
Okay. No. Okay.
Okay. Are you holding your action then?
Yeah.
All right. It's the creature's turn next. He's going to move. Over here.
Jesus
He's got a speed
Christ.
of 40. He's going to move over here, and he's going to rise in stature a little bit and attempt to do what it can to scare you, Will. I would like you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh,
Okay.
really? Oh, man. That was almost really bad.
You are not intimidated by this creature, and it is your turn next.
You there, Pant?
You're muted if you're trying to say something.
Sorry. Yeah, no, I got in the habit of having it off of mute the whole time. But, yeah, Will scrambles out the hole and careful not to get too close to it. I don't want to startle it.
Mm-hmm.
And just says, "Hey, little guy, what's going on?" He's little, right? He's like a small size creature.
Tiny, in fact.
Yeah.
Maybe not much higher than up to below your knees.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I'm Will. Don't mean you any harm. He goes, we're all cool here. Sorry to bust into your, burial chamber unannounced. Basically trying to de-escalate its tensions.
Okay.
With his charm.
As you do that, I'd like you to go ahead and make an insight check. Okay. Based on what you can gauge, you think looking at this creature, you don't just at a passing glance aren't familiar with what kind of creature it is, but looking at it, it seems like maybe it's not fully in control of its own functions.
Oh. No, I in a stage whisper into the hole, make haste.
Okay. At the top of the round, it is going to be Jafar's turn next. Now, small enough as he is, he can probably squeeze around tucking Kent.
This is a tiny beast. Can he get through? Oh, jeez. You have everything to live for. All right, I'm going to send and do the bite.
All right.
I'm going to give him the bite.
Yeah, that will absolutely do it.
Sweet, so that's 11 damage. Yeah. It's a 3d4, and then I have a +2 because my proficiency modifier gets added to my damage.
Plus 3d4 plus 2. Wow, you rolled really damn well for 3d4.
3, 1, and 4. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, so the bite goes through. You do see your flying snake bites deep into him. Or rather, Will sees this happen, but it doesn't look like maybe he's affected by the poison at all.
Right.
So much for de-escalation.
That being said, Will, as you watch this happen, however, whatever, just by taking that damage, whatever seemed to have any sort of hold on him seems like it's vanished.
I'm gonna retreat back.
Okay. It's your turn up next, then, Kurt.
Yeah, I'll and that's it. That's my turn.
Okay.
Head dash, I guess.
All right, Warren, you're up next.
Yep.
Okay. Duck, you're up next.
I'm going to sneak out of this hole too here.
Go for it.
And head over to the back wall.
Okay. Because of where you're crawling out of, you might trigger an attack of opportunity if you do that.
Oh, yeah, because I got to go by him, don't I?
Yep.
Go
I can't say you can swing around this direction. Or even down this direction.
Can I head there?
Yep.
Yeah? Okay. I would like to go there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go back to Will's first instinct and see if we can de-escalate this. And hey, buddy, what's going on? You seem a little agitated. Is there anything we can do to help here?
As you mentioned that, he kind of looks around, kind of shocked, like after he took that bite. He goes, "You broke the binding. My watch is finally over." And as he looks at you and you say that, he says, "What the hell are you doing here and what do you want?"
We're just looking around. We got the key to this room way back there, and we're...
Be my guest. Are you guys continuing combat with this thing?
No.
I'm not.
No. Will says, he nods towards the sarcophagus. What's in the box there, Chumley?
Okay. We'll say if you're out of combat, if the rest of you want to crawl into this room, you can.
Thank God.
And as you do, he wanders back, and as you ask him that, he says, "Why don't you just crack the thing open and find out for yourself?" And as he says that, all of you watch as he shimmers and disappears.
Well, that's not ominous.
I wonder what that was, Will says. Odd little creature.
So, do we crack it open?
I mean, he seemed pretty straightforward.
Before we crack it open, can I go ahead and just, compass shenanigans?
Let's not be hasty, folks, says Will. Those long dead draconic priests who, quote unquote, still hold the honor of their position. I'm not sure I like the sound of that.
As you get a closer look at this,
I've encountered the undead. They're not pleasant.
This might be the one that was said to be entombed in here that you read on the wall.
Well, entombed dragon priest.
Right.
And here is a dragon sarcophagus.
Together faster than I am. That's
I
sure.
was never great in math, but seems to add up.
I'd like to take a closer look at the sarcophagus without opening it.
Okay. As you move closer, you can see that the sarcophagus itself is easily 9 feet long. The sarcophagus itself is carved with dragon imagery.
With what?
With dragon imagery, and the head of the sarcophagus. So the head of the sarcophagus seems to resemble a dragon's head. And looking around the sarcophagus, it looks like there are rusted iron clasps that are firmly locking down the lid of this thing.
I'm going to tell him. It looks like it's...
Probably for a good reason, Will says from the other corner, where he suspects is another hole in the wall.
So do I know about the locks?
Just looking at them, you think if you use a little bit of force, you could probably bust them open.
Just force?
Yep. They're not locked in any way. It just seemed like they're rusted, and they're tightening the lid down.
All right. Yeah, I'm just not gonna chirp up I'll say that it doesn't seem like my tools are needed here.
Probably not.
Just out of curiosity, is there another passage where Will is in the corner there, where this thing came up?
Looking around, you don't find anything.
So this is the end, as far as we know.
Do I see any writing on the sarcophagus? Anything like that?
Not at first glance, no.
And what did the rune on what did the thing on the wall say?
A dragon priest entombed alive for transgressions of the law still retains the honor of his position.
Entombed alive.
Well,
I'm going to walk over, and I'm just going to give it a knock.
You hear it knock back.
Tempting, but no. The sarcophagus sounds a little hollow. You don't hear your knock resonates throughout the chamber, but otherwise nothing happens.
Gentlemen,
Will will say, look, I know the compulsion towards mayhem runs deep in your blood, but please do not do what I'm frightened that you might actually try to do. Our adventuring career has just begun. I hate to have it come to such an ignominious end here in this place.
Are you saying this to me?
to everyone.
To everyone, really.
You hear out of the corner of the room, bunch of fucking scaredy cats here.
What's with this green flame?
It's a green flame. It's
What's with the green flame? It's a green flame.
Will does it come out of the sconce?
It looks like it's sitting as a fire on the sconce itself.
Are there other torches in the corner?
There are other sconces on the corners of the room, but they don't appear to be fixated with any torches at the time being. The only torch in this room is this one with a green flame.
Why don't you go ahead and take that torch there?
Well, it's not a torch. It's just the sconce is alight with flame.
Well, there's a torch there too, right?
No, I
think that's
I
what
just
you're
asked. He said no.
No, I'm sorry. The torch. There is a torch there with green flame.
Yeah,
there's no other torches in the other sconces. There's a sconce holding a torch. The torch itself is alight with green flame.
Do we have 3 other torches we could light and place in the sconces?
I have.
Will doesn't carry any. He doesn't need them.
I have torches.
Okay.
I have a torch.
I'll hand out 3 torches because I think I have enough. Wait, let me just double check. I'm going to hand out 3 torches to the guys, which will leave me with 9. And I say we light the flames and put them in all 4 corners and see if anything happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds fair to me.
Okay.
I light the flame and go put it over here.
All right. What about the rest of you?
I'll go here.
All right. Who's taking the other corner?
Well, I'll take this corner.
I'm gonna stand right here and block the hole.
Okay.
That little
As you-
fucker's still around.
As you light the flames in the corners of the room, you watch as the entirety of the room is illuminated in this powerful green light. And as the final lantern is lit, you watch as the green light in the room all seems to move down onto the floor and circle around this tome in all sorts of draconic runes, all of which you, at a passing glance, say Dragon Priest. And as you watch, the green flame suddenly snuffs out and the room becomes dark, and you hear a sudden popping sound as if stone hits the floor. And the room is quiet for the briefest of minutes until you watch in the dead center of the room is what appears to be some sort of large creature. The only light now in this room is the 2 tiny green flames that make up the eyes of what almost looks to be a mummified troll. And I would like you all to roll initiative.
Excuse me real fast. Sure, putting the lights in the corners is a bad idea, but breaking open the chest is not a good idea. Let's see.
Hey, Smock, are you still there?
God damn it.
I'm here.
All right, you're going to play this boss.
All right.
I run.
So in your character journal there, which is going to be the, I think, second tab for you, kind of looks like a page, you should see something that says Dragon Priest. If you double click that, it'll bring up the sheet.
Okay.
You'll want to click the tab that says character sheet. That gives you all the stuff you have. I'm going to go
I just see bio and info.
Oh, you don't see
When
it?
I click on Dragon Priest, I just see bio and info.
Hang on.
Okay.
What about now? Character
Yep,
sheet?
I'm good. Yep,
Okay,
got it.
good. All right, I'm going to roll ahead initiative for you ahead of time here. You are rampaging. Do not just attack Kurt out of silliness and spite, please.
Okay.
All right. I'm assuming your initiatives are all set.
Mm-hmm.
How do you handle ties?
The system will break ties. So we'll have a tiebreaker.
All right.
Jafar's got the 10. Okay, so I'm going to assume this is all set as it is. At the top of the round, Will, you're up first. It is dark, save for the tiny green eyes that make up this mummified-looking troll.
Well, your voice is as pleasant as your outward appearance, which is not. Vicious mockery.
All right. Okay, so Smock, you'll have to roll a wisdom saving throw. Just click on the wisdom button near the top there. All right. You succeed.
Okay.
Are you making any movement, Will?
Where am I going to go? I dive into the pit.
My hero.
I dive into the pit.
All right. So you're back into this corner going, what the hell? Kent, you're up next.
All right. I can't see much in this room, but I can see the creature, right? I mean, I can see the eyes.
You can see the eyes. You got a pretty good look at where the creature itself is, but much of the rest of the room is dark.
Okay. I am going to cast Grease at the creature. And it is a 10-foot wide square, so it would kind of cover basically where he's standing and the crypt itself.
All right.
So, hold on. Grease. Oh shit. You know what? Do I have to actually roll anything to do that?
No, not to cast the spell. You don't have to roll anything. However, the dragon priest Smock will have to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, so do that now.
Are you still casting that grease there then, Ken?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So go ahead and click the dexterity button. There you go. All right. You easily see where the grease comes off, and you watch as the two lights kind of Looney Tunes their way onto their back, and the dragon priest falls prone. All right. Tuck, you watch as the two lights in the room suddenly fall back into what appears to be maybe the sarcophagus, but there's enough light to kind of gauge what's going on here.
Okay.
So and your dark vision, you can see everything anyway.
Right, yeah. I was going to say, I can probably figure it out. So I'm going to get here, which I should be in range of the troll at this point.
Yes.
And hang on. As I run forward, wildly flinging my cock in the air, I attack him.
All right. Flurry of blows, I take it.
Yes.
All right. Now it's a melee attack against a prone creature, so all of your attacks are going to have advantage.
Okay.
You're welcome.
We start with that, and that.
Okay.
Boom.
Just as a quick note, I forgot that I had the thing that increases my charisma to my initiative.
It should already be added into your character sheet there, I thought.
I don't think so. I'll double check that. You can keep going. No, yeah, because my initiative's only +5, so.
Your initiative at its base would be Dex 3, would be equal to your Dex. So if you get a +2, then yeah, it's going to be the 3 plus the 2, so it should be 5.
Okay. All
right. So your sword dives deep into the troll's skin, and your furious blow of cocks also seems to smack this thing around pretty handily.
As he chokes on my cock? No.
There's something so wrong with you people.
It's his design, not mine. Okay. Now you took away the open hand, which allows you to do extra shit with flurry of blows. Are you doing any of that extra shit?
He's already prone, right?
He's already prone.
I'm going to say it can't take any reactions until the end of my next turn.
Sure. That means no attacks of opportunity, so end of your next turn. All right.
Yep.
So if you have movement left, you can dash out of range right now.
Yeah, I'm going to back up around, back to my wall.
Sure. All right. Kurt, you're up next.
I'm going to give it Hunter's Mark.
All right.
How are you handling advantage and disadvantage at the same time? Just a normal roll?
If you would, since he's prone, you would normally have disadvantage. If you have something that
right,
you have advantage on.
I have advantage on my first attack.
So you would make it a normal roll. That would cancel one another.
All right. I'll give him my longbow.
Okay. 13 is not going to be enough to hit this thing.
Right.
It pings the side of your arrow pings the side of the sarcophagus as you try to aim your mark. It doesn't seem to quite connect. You kind of having some hard time finding purchase.
That's my turn, and then Jafar's next, so I'll swoop in and.
All right.
Wow.
Then how much movement do I have left? I think enough.
All right.
Swoop back into this hole so I don't get hit.
All right, yeah. So you watch as your flying snake swoops down, bites into this thing. You hear it kind of gurgle out in pain, and your snake very quickly flies back into the hole. All right. Mr. Dragon Priest.
Alrighty. So, I guess, am I supposed to be able to gain some hit points every turn? Is that what I understand?
Generate some hit points. I'll take care of that right now.
Alrighty. So, this is me being a noob. So, how many actions do I have?
You can move and attack in a turn. You can because in your case you can actually make 2 attacks in a turn.
Yep.
But yeah, you have 2 attacks that you can make in a turn in 1 movement, or you can move twice, and that's called dashing, which you shouldn't need to do in this tiny little room.
Okay, so since I got attacked by 2 different people and different things, I guess, and one flew out of the room, I'm going to move. Or do I have to spend an action to stand up? I guess is what I should ask.
You would spend half of your movement to stand up. So you got 15 feet you can get move.
Okay, so I'm going to stand up, so that's part of that. So I'm going to move 10 feet over, up in front of Sir Cox-a-lot.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm trying. It's not moving.
You got to
Click on the
change your
select tool
clicker.
on the top left.
What? Oh, sorry.
There you go. There you go.
Awesome. And since I'm a troll and I'm done, I'm going to attack him because he's the last person, or he's one of the people that attacked me, and I can't get to the other person. So I guess I'm going to use a bite.
Okay. And I wrote the multi-attack there.
Holy
yeah, I saw that.
shit!
You should have 2 attacks, not 3. So I wrote that in there wrong. So you have 2 attacks you can make in a turn.
Okay. All
right. So yeah, that bite crits. Tuck, you take a nasty chunk of hurt. As you watch as this, yeah. Did you already subtract your hit points? No, you didn't, not yet. All right, there you go. All right. So all of you watch as this thing bites down deep into your monk, and you have 1 more attack you can make.
I mean, is it a dick move? I attack twice.
You attack twice.
Nah, it'd just be normal.
Okay, I'll claw then. Do something different. So I claw him.
All right.
All
right. 17 beats his armor class. You slice deep into this cock-spinning monk, and he goes unconscious. Roran, you're up next.
All right. So for dash, you can make a bonus action dash.
Yep, it is your cunning action.
Yep, that allows me to double my movement speed. Correct.
Yep.
All right. So seeing as a cock-wielding monk,
it does use up your bonus. It does use up your bonus action for the turn.
Yep, no, that's fine. So yeah, seeing as the cock-wielding monk just went down, I inclined to save him.
Mm-hmm.
So
only part of him went down.
Yeah, So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and dash over here.
And that wouldn't be a dash. That's only about 20 feet.
I know, but I'm saving the rest of my movement.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and attack.
All right.
With my rapier main hand.
And what? You're not able to find purchase in the dark here, and your rapier does not connect.
Okay, and because I'm dual wielding, can I make my second attack too, or
it would count as your bonus action? You wouldn't
count as bonus. That's fine. Yeah. So with that being said, I didn't hit. So yeah, that's really about it.
I didn't see the roll for the offhand there.
No. Well, you said I used my bonus action.
Oh, no, your movement was just an action, and then
your movement was an action. You move 20 feet as an action. You attack as your movement. You attack so far as an action. You can either use your cutting action to dash as a bonus action,
right?
Or you can attack with your offhand as a bonus.
Okay,
action.
Then yeah, I'm gonna attack my offhand then.
All right.
Is it gonna? There we go.
So no. All right, there you go. Okay, so that will connect. Your second dagger, or rather, your second rapier manages to cut a chunk of this thing's flesh off, and he kind of mumbles and you think maybe roars in pain.
Okay, so that was 20 feet I moved.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I got 10 feet left. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and back up 10 feet.
Okay, and I cannot take reactions because of
my shenanigans. Fancy footwork.
Yep, that too. Will, you're up next.
Whose awful idea was it to light these sconces?
I think that was me.
Is anyone at a penalty to attack this thing because of the darkness?
At the moment, no. You can still see where this creature is. It is, however, dark and kind of hard to see some of your compatriots. Though you have a pretty good idea of where they are. I will say you're half-elf, so you already have dark vision. You can see everything that's happening.
Oh.
Will kind of looks over at it and goes, oh. He goes, you just reminded me. I have to check my back for pus-covered pimples.
All right. Go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw. Smock.
Yep.
Oh, good God.
Damn, this guy. It's a -1.
Are you making any sort of movement there, Will?
The Dragon Priest has advantage on wisdom checks.
I am not going to
that rely on
jump in the
spells.
pit.
It wouldn't apply to this.
True.
I'm not going to jump in the pit, so no, I'm going to stay here nice and far away.
I will remind you that your monk is unconscious.
All right, I'll 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Start to make my way, hoping to lay low and avoid notice until I can get to the monk.
Okay. Kent, you watch as this brute takes down your monk, and your bard moves closer to you.
I can see him from here to attack?
Yes.
All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move... Hold on, clicked on the wrong thing. I'm going to move to here.
Mm-hmm.
That's 10 feet.
Sure.
And I am going to cast Flaming Hands.
Go for it. Let's see that damage.
Oh, but clicked on the wrong thing. 1 second. Core bio. There we go. Burning Hands. My bad.
Yep.
Yeah, I not. What?
Oh,
Yeah, no. I'm casting it at level. You know what? I'm going to cast it at level 2.
All right.
Not a hero.
Oof. Okay, so go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw. Just click the dex button there, Smock. Nope. All right. You watch as this thing roars as it's roasted in flame.
Okay. Now with my,
and it seems the flame seems particularly effective against whatever sort of malaise this thing has.
With my remaining 10 feet, or I still get to move a little bit. Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. I'm going to move to here.
All right. Okay. Tuck, I need you to make a death saving throw for me.
There.
All right, you're back on your feet.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah. what a guy.
God damn it.
You're back on your feet.
Does that mean I can attack?
It means you can attack.
This bitch is mine.
You're back on your feet with 1 hit point.
Fucking right. I'm gonna kick this.
You guys, the death saving throws. That's the second time it's come in.
I know. It was me last week.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, you don't have advantage on those rolls, but that's okay because we're going to count the first number on all of those, and that's all going to hit. So that's all going to hit. All right, so total of 22 points of damage. All right.
Plus, I am going to try and knock him prone.
All right. And I think that just happens as part of your open hand, so...
Apparently he has to do a...
Can you link that ability?
Dexterity, yeah.
So I need to do the dexterity?
Yeah, so if I try and knock him down, he has to do a dexterity saving throw. If I try and push him back, he needs to do a strength saving throw.
Okay, so go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw there, Smock. Okay, I don't recall what your saving throw is. I know it's wisdom plus proficiency plus 8 plus wisdom plus proficiency, I think. And I'm fairly confident 15 is going to beat it.
Probably 12.
By 2, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right. Okay.
Hang on, wisdom? My wisdom bonus?
It'd be wisdom modifier. It'd be 8 plus your wisdom modifier plus your proficiency bonus.
Click spells. It's at the top. It'll just say spell save DC.
Yeah.
Where do you see that?
Where?
Putting up anyone's sheet, you go to spells, and at the top it says spell save DC.
Yeah, it'll show that there too.
12. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so he's not knocked down.
He's not knocked prone. Kurt, you're up next.
Because I'm gonna hit him with my bow. Pow! No, I'm not.
You can see this thing. You can see your Tux just managing to come out of nowhere, doing all sorts of damage to it. But damn, if you can hit anything with a bow.
Yeah.
Are you making any sort of movement?
Absolutely not. I'm gonna send in Jafar though. He's gonna fly in and get him, Jafar.
Nope.
Jafar
Critical
bites
fail.
himself.
Jafar bites the wall. You hear a small whimper.
He goes back to his hole. All right, my turn's over.
All right. Smock, it's the beginning of your turn.
All right, and so I get my hit point regen.
Not this turn because you took fire damage.
Oh yeah, you're right. Correct. Thank you. I just scrolled down. All right, so I can move 20 again, right?
You can move a total of 30 feet. I will add that this monk is back on his feet next to you.
I know. I got screwed up by that fire guy.
You can move. You can move to attack him if you so wish.
Whoa! Did everybody just disconnect, or?
Oh, just
I don't think so. Well, it looked like everybody disconnected on my screen there.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's disconnected but me on mine.
I see you all, or I'm assuming you all are still in the game. I can still see everything that's
Can
happening.
you see me drawing lines?
No.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, we all DC'd.
All right, let's reload the game here real quick.
Hit the gear at the top and hit reconnect.
That's funny because I'm still in.
Oh,
okay, just
there
there
we go.
There we go.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
So I'm just gonna stay here and attack this guy again.
All right. Go ahead and make your first attack.
Holy shit!
Monk goes down again. Now you have a second attack and you can still move.
Okay.
All right.
I'm thinking.
Yep, and I assume that 20 is going to be your AC.
Can he use bite twice in the same round, or does he have to use the claws?
You have to use the claw. You can only bite once.
Oh.
You can bite or claw, or you
That
can
didn't fucking matter.
Someone, that's just wrong.
Shit.
Shit show troll.
Literally the exact same.
All right. Your claw cuts deep into this bard. Roran, you're up next. You watch as the monk once again goes down.
I shake my head. All right, so I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to go ahead and make an attack with my main hand rapier.
All right. Yeah, that'll cut in.
All right, cool. Hold on, because I forgot to do it last time, too.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So, you cut deep, and this thing looks like it's almost falling to pieces.
Yeah, now offhand attack.
Nope.
All right, now that was 15, so I'm gonna go ahead and just back up again.
All right. As you back up, Dragon Piece, I'd like you to make an attack of opportunity. Oh no, you have fancy footwork.
Nope.
I take that back.
Fancy footwork. Can't.
Fancy footwork.
He's like, you can't do it. God damn it!
No, you can't hit me.
You can't hit me.
He's like,
Will, you're up next.
Not with those 20s you're fucking rolling.
I'm considering. Hold on.
All right.
Geez, this is a tough spot.
This big fucker looks like he's about to break.
I know, and everything I have seems like it's got a wisdom save. It's not kind of counterindicated here. All right, I'm going to go with the rapier and make with a stabby.
All right. We'll make an attack.
You also have a rapier?
He does.
Ooh.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm not even going to waste a die of inspiration on that.
I
am, however, to take my movement. I can go here and not give him an attack of opportunity.
Yes, you can. You circle around very, very quick to dodge any sort of movement that this large troll seems to be making in a frantic berserk, and you make it there. Kent?
Burning hands. Hold on. I keep clicking on the wrong thing here. Hold on. At level 1, by the way.
Yep. All right. You know what? Let's see. How many hit points? Yeah. All right. So go ahead and make a saving throw there, Dragon Priest. DC of dexterity.
Which one? Yeah.
Dexterity. What's your DC? 13. Okay. How do you want to do this?
How do I want to do this?
How do you want to do this? You got the killing blow.
Okay. I point my fingers forward and say, "Fuck you, buddy," and he just basically melts or turns into a pile of timbers in front of me.
Okay, as you make the symbol with your burning hands and flame eliminates or emulates the room, the red flame emanating from your hands engulfs the mummified remains of this dragon priest and this troll, and even through a muffled sort of scream, you hear it give out its last breath as it begins to burn away into all sorts of things. As it begins to burn away into multiple pieces of cinder, and the remaining light left from your burning hands that creates the timbers of what remained of this body now illuminates the rest of this chamber.
Assuming we're out of combat, Will moves to stabilize.
Yep.
The monk.
Sure. You're just stabilizing him?
Yeah, because I have a feeling we're going to take a short rest at this point anyway.
I'm going to
take a short rest.
Oh, sorry,
I'm just going to say, if you take a short rest with him at 0 hit points, he doesn't come back.
All right, I'll spend a spell slot to cast. How he's like sorely wounded, is he not?
He's at 0 hit points and unconscious.
All right, I'm going to cast Cure Wounds at 2nd level.
All right.
Can I go ahead and take a peek inside?
How do I
while
count?
it's happening?
So click on your Cure Wounds ability.
Mm-hmm.
It should have an option that asks you to cast it at what level, and it should give you a drop down there. Oh, you know what? I didn't add it. Hang on. I didn't add it here. So let me go into here real quick. Where at a higher level damage cast is 1d8. And that's correct, I think. All right. Try it. Yeah, try it now.
Just cast it?
Yeah, Cure Wounds. It should ask you to cast it at what level.
Oh, cast it at level 2.
There you go.
What a shitty number. All right.
All right. You get 15 hit points back. You're back up on your feet. Roran, you're peeking inside here, you said?
Yeah.
All right. So, peering inside, just at a passing glance, you can see the bottom of the sarcophagus is covered with a number of things, including what appears to be an ornate ceremonial dagger, 2 silver rings, and a silver amulet.
Hold on. Slow down there, killer.
Before any of this happens, can I, as I'm looking in, can I, take out my compass and hold it as I'm taking a look in?
You take your compass, lean it down. Doesn't seem to have any immediate reaction.
It's fair.
Kelly, can you give me that list again of what was in there?
Sure. There's so far an ornate ceremonial dagger, and I can give you the gold value if you're going to go ahead and just start taking a look at this. All right, the ceremonial dagger is worth maybe about 125 gold.
Okay.
There are 2 silver rings, each worth about 15 gold, and I should say actually the dagger and the silver rings and the silver amulet worth 15 gold. That's actually going to be on the dragon's body, so Kent, you'll find that.
All right, so 2 silver rings and a silver amulet, all at 15 gold each.
Correct.
An ornate ceremonial dagger.
125.
All right, and I guess you'll have to. Someone else is going to have to check it for any special properties.
Looking at, I was going to say, looking at this stuff that we've got there, can I see if I think any of it's magical?
Make an Arcana check against the. What are you going to look at? Everything completely?
I could go each one. If you
Start
want.
with the dagger.
All right, hold on.
Just make an Arcana check as you start with the dagger.
All right, dagger, Arcana.
You have no idea.
Okay.
If you're going to look at the rings of the amulet.
Yeah, I'll do.
All right. Let's just do one Arcana check for all of them. Okay, none of those seem to be magical in any nature. They are just valuable pieces of jewelry.
Okay.
Now, at the bottom of the sarcophagus is 220 silver, 50 gold,
Mm-hmm.
and what look to be 4 different spell scrolls. Finally, at the bottom of the coffer, you see what appears to be maybe some sort of quarterstaff. The quarterstaff itself has, it seems like it's made of some sort of elven wood. And taking a look at it, you think maybe it has red dragon scales wrapped into this thing.
I would seriously like to take a look at that.
Yes. Let's see what's on that thing.
And I will roll Arcana checks all day long if it takes us 2 hours if I can figure out if it's magical.
All right, go ahead and make an Arcana check on the quarterstaff. You think there might be something extra to this?
Okay. Guys, make a note. We'll identify that later.
Right. So noted.
And you said there were spell scrolls? I'd like to see what they are.
Okay. I made the mistake of not writing down the details to change it, so we're just going to go with this. Okay. So, looking at each of the spell scrolls contain a spell scroll of command at 1st level, a spell scroll of cure wounds at 2nd level, a spell scroll of fireball at 3rd level,
Okay.
and a spell scroll. I'm changing the spell scrolls here for variety's sake because the default ones are all cleric spells, and I don't want you to be limited to that.
Oh well.
So
you do what you gotta do.
So I remember writing it down somewhere. All right, the final spell scroll is at 2nd level spell scroll of say barkskin.
Barkskin. And that's all that we see in there?
Those 4 spell scrolls: barkskin, fireball, cure wounds at 2nd level, and what was the last one I said? The first one.
Barkskin, 2nd level.
Barkskin, cure wounds, fireball, and there was the
command.
4th one. Command. That's it.
At 1st level. The cure wounds is something I can cast. The rest of them, I mean, fireball should obviously go to Kent, as he's the only one who can use. Oh no, the rangers can cast fireball, can they not?
Can they?
I think so.
All right.
I was going to say, when did that happen?
All right, we can figure that out. What else, Kelly? Anything?
There's those 4 spell scrolls. There's the silver and the gold, and there's the quarterstaff.
All right, coin will go into the bag of holding along with the rings and amulet. Anyone want to hold on to the dagger for any sentimental reasons?
I chuckle and I say, I'm already holding on to one thing that's sentimental to me.
All right, I'm not going to put the dagger in the bag of holding. Sharp object, bag of holding, contraindicated. The spell scrolls, fireball will go to Kent, cure wounds will go to Will, command and barkskin. I'm not sure who can use those. Barkskin probably Kurt, maybe. Oh no, you can't cast druid spells, right?
Barkskin can be cast by a hunter or by a ranger.
Oh, all right. So we'll give that one to Kurt. And then command, I think we'll probably end up selling. I don't think anyone can cast it.
No one in your party currently can cast it.
The quarterstaff, I mean, we'll carry it around. I can put that in the bag of holding unless someone wants to hold on to it.
Put that in the bag of holding for now.
Got it.
Yeah, I'd like to know what it gives exactly, because...
Let me put it to you this way. If it gives magical abilities for casting, I don't want to see you walking around whipping shit with the staff just because you're Mr. Monk.
But if it's defensive or offensive, suck it.
What about, now does this include what was on the priest himself?
Well, on the priest himself was the rings, the amulet, and the dagger.
Okay.
Okay. So we should make our way out of this chamber. You guys want to take a short rest?
We should take a short rest here. Will suggests we take a short rest here. I will play a song that will help us. Yeah, because it's very defensible. Yeah. I will play a song that will soothe you and allow you to break the 4th wall and get more healing from your short rest.
By the way,
before we go on the short rest, Can I just make a comment about where that little... Actually, yeah, where did the little green critter go? I say this out loud.
Wherever he wants, says Will.
I was hoping to get a reply back as I showed it out loudly.
All right, you wait, you listen. Nothing.
God damn it.
Will's also not completely convinced that this is the end of this section. We should probably search this room thoroughly for any other hidden doors. We found several already.
That's fair.
Okay.
I can spend an hour just searching this room.
Can I go ahead and approach the edge over here and see if there's any trap-related shenanigans that I can either activate or deactivate to help us get back down rather than crawling through a dark hole?
Peering around, you think, looking at the pit itself. Let's see. This is. You think if you climb around on the far side of the pit, you should be able to. There are small alcoves there, and you think if you kind of hold onto those, you can climb around the side of the pit without falling in. There's no way to actually disarm it because it's just a pit with spikes at the bottom. Now, wandering around the room trying to see if there's anything else there, you don't seem to find any evidence of any sort of secret doors remaining.
All right, so I guess a short rest is in order.
Sounds good to me.
Agreed.
All right, if you're rolling hit dice, go ahead and roll hit dice.
Note the Song of Rest, which I put in the chat.
Yep. You do have to spend hit dice in order to benefit from Song of Rest.
Will spend 1 hit die.
All right.
Supply.
Killy, I would like to regain 1 level 2 spell and 1 level 1 spell slot.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So that would bring that back up to 3. That would bring that to 2. Okay.
Do we roll for hit points regained, or do we just get the standard?
You roll for hit points regained.
Okay.
Oh, and by the way, can I just say, out of character, that thank you, Smock, for playing the aggressive troll that knocked Garen on his ass twice.
Hey, I enjoyed it. It was fun. I could only be hit by a penis so many times.
Tuck, don't forget to add a d6.
4 times to be exact.
So
I'm back to full health with that 6 though.
The short rest. I just want to approach over to Will and inquire about his rapier.
Can you critically fail on a hit dice?
Yeah, I just roll the lowest possible.
Don't forget your d6 there.
Yeah, I know. I gotta find that die rolling. There it is.
I think you might just have to add it to the end.
Oh, you kidding me? Snake eyes.
Wow.
If you want, I'll let you spend another hit die as part of the same short rest.
No, I want to hold on to that hit die. I'll just take the 3 points and chalk it up.
Okay.
We don't get
Any hit die during a short rest as
for a
well,
short
right?
rest, do we?
Do what?
Do I get my key back for a short rest? I don't think so.
Not for a short rest, not for key.
Yeah.
So Will?
Oh, yes.
Yes, hi. Your rapier there. Where'd you get that from?
I used to work for, back when I was an apprentice bard, I worked for a fellow who no longer has need of it. Sad to say, he's departed from this world, shuffled off his mortal coil.
Can I make an insight check?
See if he's lying?
More so if it was him hinting that he killed said person.
Oh, okay.
I guess it's probably
Go ahead. Go ahead and make an insight check. Beats you.
Yeah, beats me.
He's just so charming. You're just captured and enraptured by his music and his tone.
Yeah. He's a bard. He does tell stories.
Okay. All right, your short rest is done. What would you like to do?
And we're all in the tune. enough of that.
I might remind you for your benefit, Will, that Sir Bradford, who you rescued here, said he was riding ahead to Mirabar and encouraged you to meet him there after you were done exploring this place in order to help report the events of the area to other members of the Lord's Alliance.
Yes, no, I'm well aware of my duty to Sir Bradford, and it will yeah, no, that's the intention, I think, is to do that after we do this.
Sure.
Okay.
Assuming I can convince everyone to go.
I don't think you'll have a problem convincing me. We seem to be doing good together so far.
Did I hear this name?
I wouldn't want to speak to you. I would speak for you, my friend. Well, we all have our own agendas here. Let's not be, we're not children. But I must say, we have been meeting with some success. I don't know why I'm surprised.
So are we all going to move out of this here now? Basically, out of this room, guys? Yes.
No, before we do that,
yeah, you're going to search.
While we're taking the short rest, actually, a little bit of role play, will suggest, actually, flowing from this conversation, if we're going to be continuing our adventures together, we should come up with a name for ourselves. One person is easily forgotten, but a group with a name, an intriguing name, a mysterious name, but a welcoming name. Something that will get us drinks poured for us in taverns and have tales of our prowess precede us where we go. Any thoughts?
Did you have any in mind?
No, perhaps food for thought. I'll think as we go. I'm sure there's a song in there somewhere. I'll find it.
Okay. I don't have any objections. How about you guys?
I'll walk over to is that Kent? Kurt? Kurt. Walk over to Kurt.
Yeah, I'm Kurt. Yeah, what's up?
Is he always like this?
What do you mean?
Always.
What do you mean?
Always trying to come up with songs and.
In his best Jeremy Irons voice, you have no idea.
Are we going to search this room for any hidden doors other than this?
You already
did, but we found nothing.
Okay.
So back we go.
Okay.
Also, is Kurt a Dragonborn or? What is he?
He's
Yanti, I'm a snake man.
Snake man.
Okay.
All right.
He kind of looks a little less like a snake and more like a lizard. You might say he's the lizard.
1T, 2T, me T, you T.
All right.
He'll get it.
Yeah, so the +2 is in the poison damage. The bite just by default does 1 point of damage. There's nothing adjusted as part of the raw physical damage.
I was wondering.
Yeah, so.
If I had it in the right place.
Yeah, it's in the right spot. All right, so where are you guys wandering off to?
Well, I think we should backtrack to the rooms that we still have left unexplored. You guys
when I approach here, I remind Will about the.
Yes. Will attempt. Do we have any? Does anyone have a cloak?
No.
You guys still have that dirty black cloak that you looted off the skeleton earlier.
Oh no, I included that in the sale. I think I valued that.
Who bought that?
No one bought it. I sold it for half a gold piece, an old matted bear cloak.
I do have common clothes that I don't wear.
Yeah, I'm sure we can find something that Will can drape over the orb, and then attempt to remove it.
Yeah, I refuse to give up my cloak
from the pedestal.
Here,
okay.
I will give you my.
And into the bag of holding it will go.
Aren't you naked?
As you attempt to remove
it's in my backpack.
As you attempt to remove this orb, it seems fixated in place. I would like you to make a strength check.
Well, I forego the strength check. I intentionally don't want to ruin it. If it's not going to move, I don't want to take a chance of destroying this truly miraculous enchantment.
Okay, you leave it be. You do hear your two.
I will consult with the sages and perhaps come back for it at a later date. Okay. We can always lock up and take the key with us, which will wait by the door, and after everyone's out, lock the door and put the key in the bag of holding.
Sure. All right, you lock the door behind you. You've taken the troll out, looted its stuff. For the sake of expediency, as you move through the rest of the fortress here, the bulk of the rest of the areas where the kobolds are, as you kind of glance around, it seems any evidence of the kobolds themselves seems like they've kind of turned tail and just left. They've just left. You do notice in one of the rooms that appears to be maybe some kind of prison, there are 4 dead goblins that still seem to be chained up.
Ew.
I think we should check this door here because if I recall correctly, we felt cold coming from this door that I'm standing by.
You didn't feel cold, but you think you heard a slushing sound.
I suggest we check here.
A goblin toilet.
I'll approach.
The door itself was locked.
Does anyone have a key?
Do we know anyone who could open? Oh, actually, I have 2 keys on me. Do either one of my keys open this?
Warren, you think you might be able to pick lock it?
Oh, I know that, but I'm wondering key first.
Okay.
Now, the 2 keys, I believe one was for the trophy room and the other was for the prison.
You're right. All right.
I might remind you, too, that this is a stone door, and carved onto the stone door itself is what looks like a dragon-like fish swimming.
Dragon-like... Oh, fish. Before, as I approached, and I noticed this, I state, are you guys sure you want me to open this?
Pretty certain. Well, we didn't say open it, we'll unlock it.
Well, can I check for traps first?
Sure, make a perception check.
All right.
As far as you can tell, it doesn't seem like the door is trapped in any way.
All right, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and attempt to pick lock.
All right, go ahead and make a check with your thieves' tools.
Oof.
That's one pick lock. That's one lockpick gone.
How many do I have? I don't even know.
I think 5 is part of the default set.
Oh, let's try again.
You take it out of the bag and it just kind of folds in 2. Like
Yeah,
you don't even get into the lock itself. It just breaks.
I don't think this is gonna work, guys. I take a step back.
Right.
Are you gonna fiddle through the keys and try to open it?
Sure, I'll use my keys on it.
All right, you fiddle through each of the keys. You eventually find that the one of them, the brass one that you looted off of Ustrail, does in fact open the room.
Whoa!
Get fucked. You wasted 2 of your 5. Damn, that sucks.
Why did you try this first, goddamn?
Oh, first, I'm sorry.
You're the one that stepped up and said, "Hey, let me try."
I asked if anybody had any keys. All right. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
All right, what's inside here?
So this is a tiny 10-foot square chamber hewn out of stone, and on the bottom right corner of this room is an upright keg fashioned of rusted iron. There are rusted pipes that lead from the keg into the floor.
Say what now?
It's a keg. It has it's an upright keg that appears to be made out of rusted iron. There are pipes that lead from the keg into the floor. The pipes themselves are rusted.
Can I go in? I wouldn't go perception. I was going to say, can I try to use my investigation to see if I can figure out what the hell it is?
I'll allow you to make a investigation check. Sure.
All right, hold on. Watch me get a fucking 1. Where the hell is my?
That's a kegger, all right.
All right, I'm gonna move back out of the room.
Oh, that was interesting.
What's down here, Killy?
It's just an empty room. It looks like maybe it was used as some sort of storage room for the kobolds, but whatever was there is now gone.
I guess there's one door left.
Oh,
Right?
you've opened up all these other rooms. I see.
There's one door left.
There's one door left.
And the door is trapped. We know that.
You know that the door is trapped.
Yes, Will knows that intimately.
Oh, okay, so I guess I'll be up here and.
Let's see if we can untap the door and try key.
Well, if the door's trapped, did you guys say this out loud?
I will remind you as you approach this particular door.
The skeletal dragon carved on it.
Yes, there's a stone door carved with skeletal dragons on it, and there's an inscription in Draconic that says, "Rebuke the dead, open the way."
And just for Roran's benefit, will point out where the blade scythe came out of the ceiling and swept down in front of the door when I tried to open it.
I might also add there is no lock on this door. Nothing to pick, nothing to stick a key into.
Am I able to?
It is locked.
Okay.
There's no lock. It's locked, but there's no lock.
Can anyone turn undead?
No.
That might be what you have to do to open it.
Rebuke the dead. That makes sense.
I mean,
as long as he had the dead dragon corpse, you could push or bring close to.
Oh yeah, I still have the dead dragon head. Let me just put that against the door.
As he says that, I step back.
Okay. Are you just kind of dragging this thing near the door?
I'll toss the head at the door.
All right. The scythe hangs into the stone floor and impales this dragon head further before sealing itself back into the ceiling.
I'll drag the head back away.
Bring a ham. Yes,
What's left of it?
I'll take a pound of ham, thin slice, please.
I point to the weird statue thing on the other side of the room and ask if anyone's taken a look at that yet.
Yeah, actually,
yeah, we got it.
That's the potion of fire breathing.
Since we're here, Killy, I'd like to utter that again and see if the pool fills up. I assume it won't, wherein there's probably no potion left in there.
As you utter the phrase again, there's no more potion left in the basin itself, and as you utter it again, it seems like whatever magic was used to create it has been spent.
Okay, just checking.
Do we still have that potion?
Oh, fire breath?
Yes.
You got one of them.
Do we want to use it on the door?
It's a stone door.
Stone door.
The inscription on the door gave us the potion. It would only stand.
No, the inscription
on the fountain gave you the potion.
Yeah, I think we're stuck.
Well, poop. I guess that's everything.
If only there was some way in your items to open a door that involved rebuking the dead.
Oh yeah, that's true. You do have that. No, we used the scroll of knock.
Yes, he did. On the door that we probably didn't mean to use it on.
Yeah, that might be why no one's thinking of it, is we did use it.
Killy, I'm going to...
Also,
rebuking the dead, I'm going to take out my flask of holy water and splash it on the door.
You watch as a blue shimmer around the door begins to fade and the door opens.
Hey.
Oh man, look at that.
Okay. Peering inside this room, you see what appears to be, may have once used to been a sanctuary of some kind. On the north, you see 3 sarcophagi. On the south, you see 2, making up a total of 5, that stand on end in this silent chamber. Each of them resembles what looks to be a noble elf-like humanoid in ceremonial robes. On the opposite end of this chamber is an altar with images of dragons carved into a black obsidian. There is a single candle that burns brightly on the altar. Next to this candle is a small whistle and a crystal flask. The flask itself seems to have some sort of orange liquid inside of it.
Small whistle and a crystal.
Yes.
At this point, I would like to say, I opened the door. It's up to you to choose to go through it.
Will laughs.
Join me?
Well, you gotta walk in a little bit further. I can't stand right on top of your tail.
Poop head. All right, I'll move into here.
All right. You move in. The room itself is cold. It feels colder in here, and the air is stale.
Like, perceive any? I'm scared.
Can I go ahead and read this?
There's a
sarcophagi.
There's no inscription in the sarcophagi.
No inscription, eh?
The sarcophagi themselves are all engraved to look like elves. Noble elves in ceremonial robes.
Hey, Garen, are you hanging out there? Okay, thank you.
An altar, what was that?
On the altar is a single candle lit. There is a flask containing some sort of orange liquid and a whistle.
Inspect the whistle.
Okay.
What role is that?
What are you inspecting about the whistle?
Would a whistle be on an altar? I guess I'm kind
What's
of
it made
curious.
out of? What's it made out of? Is there a chain?
Okay.
No thanks.
The whistle itself looks like it might be carved out of transparent crystal, and looking at it, it looks almost, or it seems to resemble a tiny little dragon curled up like a snail. And
This brings back fond memories.
Mm-hmm. And as you look at it, do you know Dwarvish?
Will does.
Check.
Oh, that's right. Will does.
Will have to read it. I think I'm the only one who does.
Okay. Reading it, without touching it, it says in Dwarvish, the name Nightcrawler is etched onto the whistle in Dwarvish runes.
Nightcrawler? Like a worm? Is that what you're saying?
Nightcaller, not crawler, color.
Oh,
Caller,
I thought you said crawler too.
Night caller.
Yes.
Never mind. All right. I don't know.
Wow. Will looks around.
I'm gonna smell the potion.
You're gonna smell the potion. How are you gonna smell? Are you just getting close to it and trying to smell?
Just whiff it in. Does it smell like something that I've drank before?
There's a cork that kind of closes this flask, so without popping the cork, you're not gonna be able to smell it.
Anything special about the candle? Is it being consumed, or is it just a forever candle?
Go ahead and make a Arcana check for me. You have every reason to believe that there is some sort of magical enchantment on the candle. Glancing at it, you think maybe there's something that causes it to stay alight even after a long period of time.
Well, guys, look, I'm sure we're not coming back here anytime soon. I don't want to be a fool and just pick up any old thing, but it does seem like we should probably take what we can before we leave here.
Yeah, fortune favors the bold. I agree. On 3, and Will puts his hand over the whistle and gesture and nods with his head towards the flask for you to do the same.
All right. So are the three you kind of lined up around this altar and on 3 grabbing each of the 3 items?
Yes.
Sure. If you're grabbing the candle.
No, I'll grab the whistle.
Kid's down here.
Yeah.
Okay. Excuse me. All right. As you, on 3, grab everything off of the obsidian altar, all of you listen as the sound of the sarcophagi pops open, and animating from within are 5 skeletons. And Smock, if you're still there, I'll let you control the skeletons if you want. And I'd like you all to roll initiative.
All right.
Do it.
All right. Give me just a second.
Initiative.
Oh. I forgot to click again.
I'll add it in. Hang on just a second.
Okay.
All right. So you should see something in your journal for the skeletons. I'll let you know that the 3 in the north have the swords. The 2 in the south have bows.
Okay.
They're not going to be nearly as interesting as the troll is to control.
That's all right.
Okay. So, Roran, you got a 13.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of you are okay on your initiatives as far as the rolls go. All right. So, descending order. All right. Will, you're up first.
Sorry, I'm looking for the journal entry for the skeletons. But be that as it may, Will is going to sweep out with his rapier at the closest one. He can't run. He'll provoke
All right.
Attacks of opportunity, so he must engage.
Are you talking about this one just to the north of you?
Actually, no, yeah, because I can't. There's nowhere I can go. There's only that one corner, and I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna attack the closest one with my rapier, the one directly north of him.
All right.
Hey, you hit.
Yes, that will absolutely hit.
Holy crap! I hit something.
Nice.
All right. Your rapier chops into this thing, and it looks like it certainly hurts, but it is steady and it is still holding strong. And I assume you're not moving anywhere.
Yeah, I will actually move here.
Okay, that would provoke an attack of
Oh,
opportunity.
that would provoke an attack of opportunity, wouldn't it? No, I guess I'm staying where I am.
Okay. Kurt, you're up next.
I
The skeleton to your
I
immediate
scimitar.
south is wielding a bow.
You said the top 3 have swords and the bottom 2 have bows?
Correct.
my south with my scimitars.
All right. The first one will miss. The second one will absolutely hit. All right. Your scimitar cuts deep into this thing's arm. The second one does. And, all right. But it is still standing. Jafar follows you.
He notices that I'm attacking that one, so he comes in to hit as well. I want to see what his distance is, though.
About 20 feet.
Yeah. So he comes in and gives it a bite.
All right. Okay. You watch as the bite goes through, but it seems like any poisonous effect that this thing has no effect on the dead.
At the +2, since it's not really a poison +2, I didn't know where to put it, and if it would still take the +2 damage somehow.
It's still poison. Because the modifier affects the die roll, and for a flying snake, the base attack value of a bite is just a flat 1.
Okay, cool. He flies back out. His turn's over.
No, the poison is effective. The problem is you keep attacking enemies that are immune to poison. Kent, you're up next.
I am going to cast Burning Hands at 2nd level at these 3.
Oh my god.
Why are you oh my godding?
Well, it's an enclosed space, and that's a area of effect, is it not?
He's evocation savant. He can force everybody else to save.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
So, the 3 top skellies.
5, 10, 15. All right, burning hands on those 3 then.
Yep. And that is 15 feet. I did check.
I would say it'll probably clip the south one too, so.
Oh, all right, well.
All right.
Oh, wait. Did I... Yeah, okay.
You cast that at 2nd level. All right.
Okay.
So, Smock, go ahead, and that's dexterity, right?
Yep. Yes.
Go ahead and make 4 dexterity saving throws for me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So, the middle one saves. He takes half damage. The bottom one saves. But he's still looking pretty badly injured. And the other 2 do not save. The one to the immediate north next to Will, you watch as he burns to a crisp. And the other one is burning hard, but is still holding together. And it's the skeleton's turns next. The 2 to the north have swords. The 2 to the south have bows.
Yep. All right. So I assume it's the same. I get 1 action, 1 attack, right?
Each of the skeletons individually has 1 attack that they can make, and they can move.
Okay, sounds good. So with the middle skeleton, top middle skeleton, sorry, I'm going to attack Will.
Sure, with the sword.
With my short sword.
All right, 17. I imagine it's going to beat that AC. So, yeah, the skeleton flings its sword, and Will, you're not able to parry it quite in time, and it cuts into your arm.
Okay.
All right, that's 1 skeleton.
And what's the movement on these guys? I can't speed 30 feet. Okay.
30 feet.
So I'm going to move that skeleton here and attack with my short sword on Will again.
All right. 13 is not going to beat it. Oh no, it ties with the AC, so it does hit. All right.
Can I use my my cutting words?
Yeah, go ahead.
On that second one.
All right. Attack roll expend to do.
Basically, subtract a d6. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it doesn't really matter which roll on the d6 because it tied. Right. So you're. What cutting words are you giving to this thing?
Oh. Skeletons with swords. Where'd you learn to do that? At the toilet store?
That was horrible.
So horrible. The skeleton seems. So horrible, the skeletons seem affected by it, and his attack fails to connect. All right, you got 2 more skeletons armed with bows.
It's British humor. You got to think about it.
All right, so I'm going to take my bottom left skeleton with 1 for no real reason.
Okay. Kent will trigger an attack of opportunity. So just make an attack with your quarterstaff there, Kent.
Yeah. Hold on. God damn it. I'm not used to that.
Yeah, true. Guess I didn't think about it.
Okay. That 16 is going to connect, and you bash this thing upside the head, and it crumbles into a bunch of pieces. Yeah, one skeleton left with the short bow.
Yep, and then I'm going to attack Will with this one. So I've got a range. The range of the short bow will should be able to get there. So.
Here's a question: can I move as a reaction as well, or just do the reaction?
Do you have an ability that allows you to move as a reaction?
I don't know.
In that case, no.
I have that.
I don't know.
He would have to be near me, I think. As long as he's within reach, I could.
It says when you're attacked by a ranged weapon.
When I'm attacked,
which I'm now doing.
Yeah.
He's
not me. That's somebody else.
You're attacking Will. The 13 is going to connect.
Oh, sorry.
So he has to attack me. Yeah. Okay.
Will's going to use his last Bardic inspiration to again choose cutting words to say, "Make no bones about it. Your aim is off today."
All right, so that final attack misses. All right, that's a skeleton's turn. Roran, you're up next. There are 3 skeletons remaining.
Cool. I am going to hit the one that's standing in front of me.
Sure.
My main hand rapier, which
Whiff.
I'm apparently really bad at, so I'm just going to take a swing with my offhand now.
Whiff.
And apparently I'm really bad, and I just kind of shrug it off and go, oh.
You try to poke at this thing as it tries to aim a shot at Will. It misses horribly, and as you try to take the advantage, you just can't seem to connect.
And I'm going to go ahead and disengage.
All right.
Back to here.
Isn't disengage an action?
Bonus action.
It to be a bonus action to disengage. He has something as his rogue specialization that gives him the fancy footwork, which basically he can move without triggering an attack of opportunity, so he doesn't have to disengage.
Cunning action is actually rogue second level. So let me take a
cunning action would be your bonus action. You can't attack with the offhand and take a cunning action at the same time.
Right. Scratch that then.
Right. With your fancy footwork, you can land a strike, and then you
didn't
really
land
the
strike, so I'm good.
So if you're going to move, then it would get an attack of opportunity against you.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to move then.
Okay.
Forgot it was a bonus action. We're good.
Yep. All right, Tuck, you're up next.
I'm going to move to here.
Sure.
And attack the top skeleton first.
All right.
With my longsword.
Yep, that'll connect. It cuts deep into this thing. It looks like it's on the ropes, but it's still standing.
And I'm going to follow up with.
Nope.
And I miss.
Anything else?
No.
All right. Top of the round. Will, you're up next. You've been cut pretty hard, or at least attempted to be cut pretty hard by all these skellies.
Yeah, he's going to make with stabby again, even though it's the one that's the southernmost of those two looks to be, I believe, the most injured.
By a bit, but yes.
I will attack him.
All right. That will connect. Your rapier plunges deep into this thing and manages to find a weak point within the bone and sinew. And as you slice outward, whatever was holding this thing up is no longer there, and it collapses onto the floor in front of you.
Have at thee.
Okay. I assume you're not moving.
You felt the pain of my words. Now feel the pain of my blade.
Alrighty.
Dodge, spin, parry, thrust.
Kurt, you're up next.
I'm going to attack the one on the north wall carrying a sword. It's still up.
All right, using your bow.
Longbow.
There you go. It connects.
Hit.
Your arrow rather, finds its way into this thing's skull, and you watch as it stands still, stiffens up, and the skull just kind of rolls back and falls off its body. And as it stands there for a minute without a head, it then just kind of falls back.
Nice. Behind, flies in to attack this southern one.
All right.
Effective bite attack.
Okay, it connects. You watch as your snake bites into the skeleton and manages to actually remove maybe a part of the bone that makes up its arm and carries it playfully in its mouth.
Yum, yum, yum.
Snake.
Oh god, a snake. Kent, you're up.
Firebolt.
Alrighty. Nope. Your firebolt goes wide and almost scorches Roran's hair.
Whoa! I paid good money for this hair.
You put enough grease in it, you're like it didn't catch fire on the way by.
Grease lighting, go grease lighting. All right. One skeleton is left.
Yep. And I'm going to do a ranged attack on the fireman.
All right. 20 will connect. This arrow plunges deep into your side, Kent. And to reel back just a little bit. Roran, you're up next. All right, that will connect. Yes, with the sneak attack. All right, your rapier, you manage to jump onto this thing, and your rapier finds a weak point, and you almost kind of tackle this thing to the ground as it just collapses into a bunch of tiny little skelly pieces. And you're out of combat. That's 5 skeletons down. You grabbed off this black altar a flame, which I will add for your benefit now that you have it in your possession. This is a flame with a continual flame spell on it. It's basically a candle that will never go out, unless you dispel magic. You also have a whistle, and carved like a dragon curled up like a snail, and you have some sort of flask with an orange liquid inside of it.
Well, I would say put the flask and the ring or whistle inside the bag. I wouldn't put the flame in there. That probably wouldn't work out well.
Well, can we put the flame out, like pinch it out and light it again? Will it?
As you try to pinch this thing out, you don't feel any heat on your fingers, and as you remove your hands, it just lights itself again.
Out of curiosity, is there anything special about this candle other than the fact that it stays lit?
It doesn't seem like it causes anything to catch fire. It seems like all it does is give off light.
Oh.
Yeah, just put it in your pocket.
Yeah, exactly. I won't put it in the bag of holding, but I'll put it in my belt pouch.
Okay. Kelly, as I am assuming that we are basically out of this place real fast, is it worth searching any of the kobolds' rooms?
Out of character? Not really.
Okay.
And anything that would have been in those rooms, the kobolds carried off with them.
We'll search the sarcophaguses and the skeleton.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Can do.
Let's back away. While you're searching, can I look at the whistle? Or I guess I have the thing in my hand. Can I look at the can I inspect the potion to see if I know what it is?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Okay, with that perception check, as you kind of scan around the sarcophagi, you're not able to find anything in particular on them. The skeletons themselves, aside from having a few old short swords, 3 in total, as well as a couple of short bows, 2 in total, there's nothing special on the skeletons themselves. Now, you're inspecting the whistle itself?
Yeah, I'll do the whistle first. That's fine.
Okay.
Inspection or investigation or perception?
Well, let me ask you this: what is it about the whistle that you're trying to glean?
And it has a nice little dragon on it, so of course I'm interested in it. I don't know. If I were to blow on it, what would it do? That's what I want to know.
You have no idea.
Okay, we can always try to identify it later.
Yeah,
I will allow you to make it either an Arcana or a History check if you wish.
All of us, or just
him? Just
him?
Kurt.
Okay.
There's an Arcana check. Oh, there it is.
Hey, not bad, man.
Unfortunately, not high enough. Not quite.
Not high enough? Holy shit!
The DC was 20. You're not able to glean anything else about this thing.
Okay.
Blow on it.
How about you hand it over to the
Here we
mage
go.
and see if he can identify it.
I give it a good whistle blow.
Okay, as you blow into this whistle, it has a soft, almost melancholy ringing to it, and you wait for a minute. And as you do, you watch as the skeleton next to you begins to rise up on its feet, grabbing its bow, and then it stays still, as if waiting.
I'm gonna get you.
I draw my swords.
I'm gonna get you.
From my swords, I guess.
I think he's ours.
The skeleton doesn't look hostile.
Mm.
Hey, want to be friends?
I'm gonna walk up and just kind of like Give us
Wanna get a beer?
Okay, I
rapier.
Okay, it doesn't react.
to do a little dance.
Let us get some ale.
You are commanding this thing to do a little dance?
Yes.
Okay, it starts doing a little dance. You see it doing a little bit of the ocarina.
That's cool.
That there's a spooky, scary skeleton.
Spooky, scary skeleton.
I give it back
Shiver
to
and you scream.
Yeah, we'll push it away and says, we'll keep this one away from you.
But that's a keeper, though.
Yeah, that's definitely
necromancy is not to be fooled with.
You know,
only one time back.
I'm gonna ask what happens if you go on it a second time.
No, we'll not give it up. He'll keep it in the bag of holding. Necromancy is nothing to be trifled with.
I think we're gonna have a fight over this if I can't use that to summon an extra person to help us.
We will. This is not for mundane purposes. This is something that should be kept until the need is dire. The forces of evil rule this item.
And by the way, as he's wandering with this whistle, Roran, you feel like your compass is alight again with this sort of radiant energy. Your compass.
Towards the whistle.
Towards the whistle.
Can I quickly take a peek at that? There, who has that will?
That would be Kurt.
Right now, it's kind of exchanging hands between Kurt and Will.
Yep. I hold up my hand for a second and say, "Can I take a look at that?"
Sure. Here you go.
All right. So I'm taking a look at it.
Okay.
What do I see?
You see the whistle itself. You see the skeleton that is
obviously
animated
alive.
next to you.
Yep.
And it's doing kind of a little jig.
Yeah.
And at the moment, you're holding your compass in one hand. You're holding your whistle in the other hand. The compass seems like it's growing brighter as you maybe get this as you hold onto this thing.
Can I go ahead and move it towards the whistle?
Okay. As you move the compass towards the whistle, all of you watch as a sudden radiant energy seems to emanate from the compass itself and move right into the whistle itself. And you watch as the whistle shatters. And the skeleton shatters in radiant energy.
Keep this guy away from the staff.
Oh, holy shit, if I didn't already dislike you. Breaking my fucking magic whistle.
Will just starts to walk out and he's shaking his head. There is something so wrong with you people.
I'm just kind of staring now at both in my hand, obviously one broken one.
The whistle is nothing more than crumpled pieces of bone and carving stone.
Okay, hold on 1 second. New rule: the new guy doesn't get to use his compass on any item again.
Hey, my compass is glittering. Yeah, keep it in your pocket, bro.
Before I leave this room, I turn to Roran and I say, "Blow my whistle, bitch," and leave.
I'm still standing there, just kind of trying to piece together in my head.
Can I?
A powerful, unique item gone forever. Thank you.
Can I cast Burning Hands on the holy water on the door and see if it reseals itself with him inside?
The door. Funny enough, the door itself is seems like it was maybe more just an illusion for the time being. At the moment, it doesn't seem like there's a door there.
No, that was a good try. All right, so in effect, we have scoured this entire place.
Looks like it.
Well,
except for the toilet room, nothing else in here was that interesting.
Well, there's one. Am I looking incorrectly here, saying that it looks like there's another entrance down the west?
There's nothing else. As far as the rooms themselves go, if you explored more or less every room within the Citadel itself.
There's nothing here?
No.
Okay.
Has something like this ever happened to me before?
No.
This is a first?
This is a first.
And it'll never happen again.
And just to clarify, that was a dwarven whistle?
It was a dwarven. It was in car. It had dwarven runes and carved on it.
And then the map was written in Dwarvish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I slowly work my way back.
Okay. Are you guys essentially making your way out of the citadel itself then?
Yeah, I guess we should head back to Oakhurst. And,
Okay.
And we'll say, look, my next stop is Kundrakar. No, not Kundrakar.
Miramar.
Miramar.
Bar.
Miramar. Miramar, the great dwarven city of Miramar. I have business there. Obviously, I need to report back on what on what I was sent to do, which I've done. We should all go.
At this point, yeah.
Okay, Will has offered you all to accompany him to the city of Miramar, and after asking around the village of Oakhurst, a couple of people mentioned offhandedly to you that if anybody were able to locate anything, or if there was maps to anything involving the spine of the world, that the city of Miramar would probably have the source.
Well, it serves a dual purpose.
While questioning about this, can I inquire if it's a dwarven city or not?
Miramar itself, you would know after kind of wandering around the area, and all of you would know this. Miramar itself is actually a mixture of a human city and a dwarven city. There's an upper city that mostly consists of humans and dwarves, but also contains some gnomes and maybe some halflings. And it's a major city of trade that sends out a number of precious gems and as well as precious metal. And the undercity you can only access by permission. It is the mines that kind of make up the wealth of the city, and mostly dwarves occupy that part, although there are some human miners that do occupy it. The city itself used to be the major exporter of metal and gems within the Lord's Alliance until Mithril Hall was recaptured by a famous dwarf named Brunor Battlehammer.
Ha! I know who that is.
And a lot of the wealth and a lot of the gems and money and precious metals are now coming more out of Mithril Hall than Miramar, and it's kind of created some tension between the two dwarf holds.
All right. So we make our way back to town. Yes, guys. I agree to go with you. By the way, Will.
I question if I'm currently invited or not after.
Well, we've consulted, and your trial membership unfortunately will not be extended.
Wait. Hold on. We need someone to carry the heavy shit.
You gotta have a bag of holding.
We need healing is what we need. To be perfectly honest.
You can rest in town.
Yeah, I mean, assuming that we walk back and it's uneventful.
I kind of just raise my hand up and I'm like, well, guys, if you don't want me, that's fine. But I think you guys helped me out enough, and I'm mostly curious about the dwarven.
No, let's
heading
go.
in that direction
You're welcome to travel with. More is always better on the road.
I agree.
As long as we keep the valuable and magical items out of your hands or your compass's reach, I think we'll be fine.
I think I worked it out, and I think it has something to do with the dwarves.
Well, that's good, but the compass still stays away from anything else we might have.
That's fine, but it's dwarven.
I don't care if it's
and
Episcopalian. It's not going anywhere.
For the first time that I've had this compass, I'm finally starting to realize.
We understand. It's a learning process. Look, we're all new at this adventuring game. We will make mistakes along the way.
I mean,
let us not be too hard on our friend here.
Well, okay. Let me put it this way, though. The compass helped you with the map. and then not helped you in another scenario.
Oh, wow.
So the next time we use it, it's bound to be helpful, right?
I'm just
Going back and forth, yeah.
I'm just looking at him and being like, can you believe this fucking guy?
You never know.
Kurt, for your benefit, there's no armorer within the town of Oakhurst. It's too small. However,
I don't
Mirabar,
remember you saying there's one there.
no. However, Mirabar, being a major city of precious metals, was bound to have an armor.
I still have
Can
this
I,
dragon head, and I kind of want to make it into a hat. So
I assume that we know the direction of Mirabar at this point. General
You would know it's a number of days travel, maybe about 7 days travel to the west.
To the west, and if I compass, which way is that currently pointing?
To the northwest.
Northwest. All right. Okay.
I'm going to.
He's already using that compass.
I'm just looking at it.
I'm going to suggest to Will that whatever we might have gotten as far as like trying to sell that back in Oakhurst, maybe we wait until we get to Mirabar. Maybe the prices will be better, or you know, the rings and the amulet.
Yeah, no, I agree. We're going to hold on to that and take it with us. I agree. We could probably haggle for a little bit more in the big city.
I give him this potion as well because I'm not going to use it.
Okay. So are you all deciding
the
then
dagger?
to speak?
Thinking about that, did anyone ever inspect that and figure out anything?
Yeah, I think we did determine that magic, decorative, and ornate.
You determined it was certainly decorative.
What was
you determined that
decorative
the
about
rings
it?
you determined that the rings and the neck themselves didn't seem to have anything inherently magical about them.
Ah.
The dagger itself, the dagger itself seemed like it may have been some kind of ceremonial dagger.
I'm asking this. I'm not going to hold it. Does the dagger have any dwarven inscriptions or runes?
No.
No.
I'll give you a real close-up look at the dagger.
I step back with my hands up, and I'm like, no.
Hands up, don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot.
No. Yeah. I mean, it would be nice if we could figure out what that is before we left.
I will add, you have a number of new unidentified items.
I would like to identify the staff, but would you guys mind if we pull our gold for the pearl worth 100 gold and, well, I'm assuming
A silver.
owl.
100 gold and 1 silver.
And an owl feather, I believe. But
yep,
I imagine that's not too hard to come across.
We have 242 gold worth of stuff. We would have to sell some of it. Let's see. No, we have 22. We have only 72 in coin. So we would have to make the rest up by either selling the dagger here in Oakhurst or whatever. But we would have to come up with the value. And we don't have it. We don't have 100 gold. We have over 100 gold worth of stuff. So we would have to make a sale.
Did you sell all the generic stuff for the gold value earlier that you said?
Well, we all have our. All right. So if you want.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe we could pull together what we've individually and identify something. I'll chip in 25 gold.
And what are we identifying? The staff?
I think the staff was the only magic thing that we have left.
And possibly the dagger.
Well, that's 200 gold.
Isn't the pearl reusable?
No.
No?
Burns. It's a material component. It disappears. Well, it is consumed in the process.
Correct.
Your guys' call, because between the four of us, I should say between the 5 of us, I would hope that we could swing the cost, but that's up to you guys.
I'm totally fine.
I currently have no gold.
As well, you shouldn't.
Worth?
All right, we'll volunteer up 25 gold.
I might add,
if everyone else does.
I might add for your benefit, Warren, because we're starting you off at level 3. You probably ought to have started with an extra 100 gold. You gave out 4 pieces earlier, so I'm going to say you currently have 96 in your possession.
All right, then we'll give up 20 gold if everyone gives up 20 gold.
Guys?
All right, I'll toss in 10 then.
10?
Yeah.
Asshole.
Hey, I'm still poor compared to you guys.
All right, and the whistle was worth 4,000 billion gold, so you're in the hole.
Yeah, we should shake him upside down until we get all the gold for that thing.
I pull up my rapiers.
No, everyone chips in 20. That's the rule. We do things equally here, Ron. That's how we work. That's how we roll.
And if you want to, no 20 gold.
I don't have that much gold, guys. I'm sorry.
Should he have to roll deception on that shit?
Let's say yes. Go ahead and roll deception.
Yes.
Oh, fuck. All right.
You believe him somehow in thinking that he's a poor bastard.
All right, he's got nothing.
All right. I'll chip in 25 out because I think what we have left between us, or what I have left between me, is...
He said 10, I'll do 25. It'll make up for his lack of 10, just because the staff is going to go between me and Kent, depending what it is.
Okay.
So I'm losing 20 right now, but then you're giving me more gold later. Is that what's going on?
Yes.
Right.
So out of, and again, if you go back to what I posted in the chat, if you scroll up, it's actually...
Yeah, I think you also posted in the D&D chat channel.
I did.
On my... Here's the last thing.
It's you can't even get back there. So
I just took back 25 off of my total there. So
here's the deal. The last thing I wrote down was 271 gold minus 20 silver, which was what I would have had left gold-wise after you broke everything down. So if I minus 25 from that, that should be what I have left, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, you would have gotten 271, right, less than 25. So.
All right. So yeah. All right, we'll do that.
Will, I'm going to take 20 off of Will's sheet.
20 off of mine.
And so if the other two do 25, then with the 10 from the cheapskate, we should be able to cover it.
Hey, okay. I'm sorry. I've been traveling for a long time, and I haven't had a chance to make money.
Okay. So you all chipped in. You wait about 11 minutes, and you go ahead and identify this staff.
Yep.
I was really hoping it was just a piece of wood.
Nope.
Is it?
Well, that would be in Garen's wheelhouse, I believe.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
You command it telepathically. That's awesome.
I can throw it, so I can get rid of my bow and the arrows and give those to you.
And it's a +1 weapon.
Yes,
Dragon tail, which is a staff. +1 quarterstaff of returning.
Yep.
All right, so 246.
Quarterstaff.
And that goes to, we're giving that to Tuck?
Yeah. I would vote Tuck. Everybody else cool with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, follow me. Okay, so the crystal flask with orange liquid. I'll have to figure that one out.
I love that you have a spreadsheet for this. I do.
Oh yeah, no, I'm making note of, all the items and who has what.
Okay. Still have that wand of entangle.
Yeah.
How the hell do I put that into my sheet? +1.
So,
so we have everything's parceled out as far as the special items, with the exception of 3: the scroll of command, the crystal flask, and the candle, the eternal flame.
So Dex +1.
Dex +1, and then you're proficient. So check that.
As I pull out one of my daggers and kind of twirl it around, I ask if I could possibly have the other dagger
Whoops.
that we received.
The ornate one?
Yes.
Magical properties, so we're unsure.
Yeah, we're unsure.
Yeah, we have business with that dagger still. We have to determine if it's got any special properties, and then if you wish to buy it out of your equity, you're more than welcome to, Will says. But I'm sorry, it's worth quite a tidy sum.
We don't know that it's worth quite a tiny sum. I just
Well, actually, Will does. No, the dagger itself is worth 125 gold. That's why he has it.
I'm just testing to make sure that works the way I think it does.
Look,
sorry, go ahead.
Out of character, look at it like this. We share and share alike, but bear with us a little bit here.
Yeah. It's fine.
So I'm assuming we went back to town and made one long rest before beginning on our journey.
Makes sense.
Kill.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm finishing out
No problem.
the roll, the stuff here for the quarterstaff to make sure the roll's correct. Okay, so you're making your way back to Oakhurst then to rest up?
Yes.
Okay.
And then
Is
we're
there anything
going
else?
to make the trek to Mirabar.
Okay, so you take a short rest, or you spend one more night in the inn. Go ahead and restore all your stuff back. You'll get the benefits of a long rest. As you make your way out, a couple of the townsfolk kind of once again thank you for the rescue and the effort you've made towards helping their town with the creatures that have been attacking travelers on the road. The Corolla family has gifted you with a number of provisions necessary in order to make the journey. The journey itself between Oakhurst and the city of Mirabar is about 5.5 days travel.
Killing
now,
real fast.
Go ahead.
Before we left that town, I assumed there was a shrine there, right?
There's an all-faith shrine there, yes.
Would I have been able to refill my holy water there?
For a price.
How much?
It is. Let me double check here. $25 gold.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay.
I'll subtract that.
Sharwin, as you ask her, Kurt, simply smiles and thanks you once again. You think she might nod just a little bit. She's open to the idea.
Oh yeah, I'm sending that bitch letters.
Hey, hey Kurt.
Okay.
Do you want a short bow and 26 arrows?
I'll take your arrows, I guess.
Before we leave there, Killy, in the tavern, is anyone playing cards?
There's a couple of gnomes in the morning. You notice them here almost every time in the morning, every time in the evening. There's an older-looking gnome with horn-rimmed glasses and a shock of white hair on the sides of his head, who he's balding on the top. There's another gnome who looks maybe a little more middle-aged. He has very mud-caked boots lying to the side of the table and kind of covered in dirt, but they look like they're both playing cards.
Is it gambling or just kind of normal cards?
It looks kind of like normal cards. It doesn't really look like they're gambling.
All right.
Too small a town for that.
That's fair. Thought I'd check.
Pant, I'm going to hand you a short bow. We can add that to the list of shit we'll sell.
Very good. So noted.
Okay. As you're making your way over to the course of town, there is this travel does take a number of days, and I do have a number of things that will happen. However, is there anything in particular you would like to do over the course of this particular journey?
I'm just deducting gold at during the fucking. I'm going to get there and be broke as shit. Killy, I could go over this afterward, but I probably do want to learn Scorching Ray into my firebook or my scroll, my spellbook.
Right, Scorching Ray. I just want to make sure it's not an evocation spell.
It is, I think.
Yes, it is. So it costs you 50 gold and 4 hours to learn. And we could say if you really want to do it, you'll have to deduct 50 gold, but you can add it to your spellbook.
That's fine. I'll do that.
Okay. I think you might still have to make a check just to see if you successfully copy it.
Hold on. I got that book. I got that open right now. Copying this spell takes 2 hours. Doesn't
1 hour,
say.
I guess. It'd be 1 hour for you as an invocation, so.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything about rolling on a check, but it's up to you, I guess.
Spellbook. Learning spells, blah, blah, blah. Copying a spell, basic report, 2 hours and cost. Okay, so it costs 2 hours and 50 gold to do it. It's going to cost you one. I'm sorry. So it'll cost you 1 hour and 25 gold, not 50.
Well, it's per level. It's a second level spell. So
oh, you're right. You're right.
It would be 50.
So it would be 50. It still takes you 1 hour. Yeah, I don't think you have to. You don't have to make any sort of check.
Yeah, I think they got rid of that. I think that
Yeah.
used to be a thing. All right, so 171 gold. Okay.
Okay.
Kelly, if you'll, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So the scorching ray is now off of the scroll. You lose the scroll, but it is now copied into your spellbook.
Correct.
And you can prepare that if you wish as part of the journey.
So noted. Scorching ray gone.
All right.
Kelly, if you'll allow, I'd like to sell that short bow before we leave Oakhurst.
Okay.
Just exchange it for coin.
Okay.
Oh, and I'm gonna hand you my old quarterstaff too, since I don't need it anymore.
Quarterstaff? Okay.
Yeah, old one.
I'll sell that as well. So the short bow and the quarterstaff.
Okay. Carowin will offer you 25 gold for the short bow.
Okay. And how much for the quarterstaff?
The quarterstaff, she will offer you 2 silver.
Fine.
Oh wait, no, you had that sword, didn't you?
I'm not going to haggle her too much on those because she was so good to us on the bag of holding. So 25 gold and 2 silver.
Yep.
I still have long sword. Yes.
Okay, never mind. I didn't know you had both on you.
Let's see. All right, Scroll of Scorching Ray is used up. Just mark that down. And then you asked specifically what we wanted to do on the way to Murbar. In the days that it takes us to travel there, that tune that Will seems to have been working out in his head on his watches, he's going to try to turn it into music for that ballad of Durganin the Black that he had. And basically he's going to try to finish that song.
Okay. I'll let you write it down on your own time then if you actually want to give it lyrics, but any more lyrics. But as you work it out, go ahead and make a performance check.
Okay.
How are we traveling, by the way?
Okay, so you can finish out the ballad as you wish, and you manage to fill it out into what you think is a complete song. When you say how you're traveling on foot.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not given mounts as part of this.
Yeah, that's fine.
Any chance that there's a merchant at Oakhurst or someone with a wagon that might be making the trip? We could ride with them.
There are merchant caravans that happen from time to time, but at the time that you're leading, there doesn't seem to be.
Okay, very good. We're on foot.
So I'll be walking at the back of the group,
and
just every once in a while, I'll be checking my compass, just seeing direction as it's pointing, changes, etc.
It continues to point to the northwest over the course of time.
Okay.
I'll noticeably be traveling farther away from him every time he pulls that out, for fear that if he trips and falls into me, he might break my items.
Okay. So as the first 2 days of the journey passes, we come to the night, and Roran, you're sleeping, and in the midst of your rest, you have a dream. You open your eyes, and you're standing in the campsite. Nobody else seems to be around you. You are by yourself, and as you look around, the sound is. There doesn't seem to be any sort of sound, and you kind of glance around. The area around you is somewhat blurry, And as you glance around in kind of a frantic, wondering what's going on, suddenly appearing before you is some sort of humanoid figure who seems to be bathed in some sort of radiant flame, and it looks like it might have wings. And in one hand it is holding maybe some sort of gavel, and the other it's holding some sort of shield. And you watch as it faces towards the northwest, and as you watch behind it, it's not even looking at you. You watch as maybe some sort of dark energy, some dark necromantic energy, seems like it just fades away within this thing's presence. And you don't have much more time before you awaken. As you awaken, at this point in time, Tuck is keeping watch of the camp, and you notice a faint glow on your compass, very, very briefly, and then it fades.
Okay.
Is there anything else you would like to do as part of all that? Or are you going to just keep it to yourself?
I'm going to keep that to myself and ponder.
Okay. You get to about the fourth day.
I'm assuming that this is the first time this happened too, right? Like anything like this has ever happened?
You've had similar dreams where you've seen some sort of radiant spirit ever since having that compass.
Yep.
But there's not much else you've been able to glean from any of those dreams.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
You come to the fourth night on the journey. Kent, I need to restore you to full hit points. Okay. There we go. All right, Kent, you are keeping watch.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else is asleep around the campsite.
Mm-hmm.
I would like you to, let me add this. As you're keeping watch, you think you hear the sound of something shifting in the tree behind you. I'd like you to go ahead and make a perception check.
Which direction, just so I'm getting an idea?
See where I'm picking?
All right, perception?
Yep.
You got it. Perceptiones. And I clicked on it. Oh, shit. Okay, my bad. I didn't think it clicked the first time, but obviously the 3.
Okay. You don't catch enough of a sight of it, but you do hear what sounds like something moving in the brush down in that direction.
Now, as we're not resting and we're keeping watch, I would like to wake up Friar Tuck and let him... Actually, you know what? I would like to wake up Kurt and say to him, hey, there's something moving around out there.
Okay. Whereabouts?
To the south of us.
I send Jafar to scout, and I try to use my dark vision.
Okay. As you begin peering in that direction, Jafar doesn't get too far before you watch as some sort of humanoid dark figure in the shadows begins to dart towards the south.
After it.
All right, I'm gonna yell to the guys. Hey guys, hurry up! Something's out there.
Far.
Do I wake them up? Okay. I woke up.
Yeah.
Are we all awake now? Yeah.
Are you waking them all up?
I shouted at them. Yo, there's something going on out there.
Okay.
I look around, see if I can see anything.
Make a perception check.
I'm assuming it's dark, so...
It's pretty dark. It's like middle of the night dark. Nope. In this commotion, you're still in kind of a half-dazed, half-asleep state. It's kind of hard to gauge anything that's happening.
Yeah, I have dark vision too.
Yep.
It matters.
Not in this
Can I
case.
still see it or no?
Make a perception check.
Oh, okay, sure.
Are we all awake at this point?
You're all awake at this point if you're following.
Oh, well then I guess I don't want to be left out.
Okay. Kurt, both you and your snake seem to hear what sounds like rustling bush off to your east.
Approach the bush and I say, "Come out! We know you're in there."
Will made a perception check as well, which critted.
Okay. Oh, you did? Okay. You watch a very clearly humanoid figure dart into the brush here. He seems to be covered in some sort of hooded robe.
Can I do a quick perception check in the trees surrounding?
Sure. You don't notice anything in the trees itself surrounding, yeah, you don't notice anything else in the trees surrounding. Whatever it was seems like it's ducked in this direction.
Okay.
And as Jafar moves in that direction, you hear it kind of squeal a bit.
No! Run towards him.
Okay.
We've essentially surrounded the tree.
It's a bush.
Okay. You're all making your way in this direction. What are the rest of you guys? Are you guys just kind of keeping an eye on the tree, or what's going on?
I'm keeping.
Yeah, this
I'm
little guy is
sticking
like
right
flying
around
high.
here.
He's not near the ground. If that's what you're higher.
Yeah, let's just like surround it.
Okay.
I'm where I'm standing.
Come out. We saw you. We're aware you're in there.
Okay. As you say something, all of you watch as some sort of mist seems to rise up from the bush itself here, and then just kind of rise up into the sky and fly away.
As this happens, what direction does it fly? Compass. Go.
To the south, southwest.
All right.
Your compass, I yell.
Your compass is still pointing to the northwest. This
Mine's
thing
still
seems
pointing?
like it. Yep.
Okay,
Your
that's
thing
fine.
flies. This gaseous form seems to fly off to the southwest.
Okay.
What do you guys want to do?
I mean, it left us. Back to sleep.
I can sleep after something like that. That was freaky.
Yeah,
I've seen Freak here.
it's pretty standard to me at this point.
I'm going to go
Right. I'll
inspect in this tree because
Okay. You're gonna crawl into it's just really a bush. It's not so much a tree.
bush. I'm going to use that as I go in.
Okay. As you begin to make your way into the tree itself, can't you hear a voice in the back of your head say, "Don't let him take it"?
Wait,
hear-
sorry, who heard that?
I hear a voice in the back of my head that says,
Yep.
"Don't let
Don't
him
let
take
him
it."
take it.
Do I have any idea of what it would be referring to?
You have no idea what it might be referring to, but the voice sounds familiar.
Do I recognize the voice like more than
Yep.
normal?
It sounds much like your old master.
Oh yeah, because he's
That
been a
crazy
real
dude again?
thrill.
Okay. As you're kind of debating this, Tuck, as you wander into this area, you see lying within the clearing that makes up this bush is what appears to be some sort of staff. The staff itself is glowing with a black energy and looks almost like a tree branch that has been charred to a crisp.
Well, I'm going to yell that out to the boys. Say, I found a staff. It's glowing. Kind of odd.
I'm gonna make my way into the bush.
Okay. You make your way into the bush and see this blackened, charred-looking staff glowing with a blackened energy. And you hear in the back of your head a voice saying, "Take it."
For sheer funniness, I'm going to pick up the staff.
Okay. You pick up the staff and you feel a sort of power flow into you. You feel empowered and strong. This thing continues to glow with a blackened energy. And as you do, I'd like you to make a perception check with advantage.
With advantage. Yeah, watch, I'll roll 2 ones. Hold on. Perception. Not
Oof.
far from it. Well,
You got one.
let me ask you a question. Would that be perception or would that be arcana?
You know what? I'll allow you to make an Arcana check. Sure,
With or without advantage?
with advantage still. Okay. This staff, just by glancing onto it and grabbing onto it, looking at the wood that makes up this thing, you can't help but feel like the wood that makes up this staff is the wood that came from the Gulthias tree. However, it seems like it's been enchanted in some form.
Well, do we?
I'd like to hold on to it only, and I explained to them that literally I'm getting messages from the guy who tried to kill us earlier, and I don't want to see anything bad happen to any of them.
I quickly stop you and say the troll that we killed?
No.
No, this is before you.
This is before we met you.
Roran, as you get closer to this thing, your compass begins to glow again.
I step back.
Right in between you two.
I ready magic missile at the approaching. What race are you?
No,
I forget.
I
Human?
step back. Human. Yeah, no, I step back.
Okay.
I step back. Don't worry.
All right.
Boy.
So Roran has to sleep on the far end of the camp from now on.
As I stop briefly, from far away, I ask, is there anything dwarven related to the staff?
No.
No, there wouldn't be.
No. Okay. Well, that's new.
That's new.
I have to ask real quick. Does anyone else have any magical items on them currently?
Yeah. We all do.
No. Hold on.
No, I have none.
I don't have any.
Hold on.
Nope. Not at all.
All right.
No, I'm just wondering if it's maybe it can detect my compass. Maybe it can detect magical items. And I won't put it near. I'm just curious.
You know what?
Well,
I'll walk back over.
I don't
have
think
a
I put it
ring.
in my inventory, but I got that,
You have
that
a
ring
ring?
of cold
Warmth.
from.
Okay, yeah. I just
warm.
want to hold up the compass towards the ring. I guess.
Kurt puts the ring out, not on his hand. Just
No,
in
yeah,
his
no,
hand.
I'm not going too close to it. So close again. But
Which ring is this?
The good ring that I took.
The
That I
ring
have.
of
I'm not
red.
even close to it. It's further back.
The gold diamond ring of warmth.
No, that's mine.
something that. Yeah,
No, I think you're talking about the other ring, right?
The cursed red skin ring.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, that one. The one that turns red.
God
You put it
damn
on. That's the
God
one.
damn it! Damn it! You could have had so much fun with that right there.
Shit, yeah, I
Okay.
have a ring in my hand.
Okay, he has a ring in his hand. It looks like a golden ring with a bright red ruby in it. And you're handing it to Roran?
No.
Hold it out, and he's gonna hold his compass far away, but nearish it.
5-10
No.
feet away.
No reaction.
No reaction at all. Can I get a little bit closer, but not too close?
No reaction. It seems like it's having no reaction to this ring at all.
Okay.
How about the ring
Boy.
that I have? That's not in my inventory yet, but it should be.
Would that be the ring of warmth?
Yes.
No reaction.
No reaction. All right.
Well,
so
then.
it has nothing to do with magical items. It has something to do with dwarves, and possibly whatever stories behind that staff and that person who you're talking to.
Well, talking to me, but yes. And
Yes,
and real fast, just for after we're done, I'll post my character's background so you kind of have an idea who it was.
Okay. No. Don't worry about that. It's more fun this way. Less metagames.
Well, I told all the other guys, so
Yeah, that's fine. No, you can tell me later on. Anyways.
all right,
So
Okay.
can we quickly test something? One other quick thing there, Kent.
all right. If
Now,
this
so-
staff disintegrates in my hand,
Set your staff away from you,
okay, I'll put
and
it.
then let me approach you.
I will put
Approach.
it here.
Okay. You're putting the staff there, and Roran, you're approaching Kent with the.
Away from the staff, yes.
So
with my
you're
compass.
coming
Okay.
over. You're coming over here. And the
Well, no,
staff is-
you come to me. Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
As Kent approaches towards you, there's no immediate reaction by the compass.
Okay. All right.
So does the staff.
It has something to do with the staff and something to do with dwarves.
Okay, I'm gonna go pick up the staff. I'm gonna go
Yep.
this way.
Yes, we'll stay on opposite ends of the camp.
All right. As you continue your rest, Kent, the magical properties that imbue the staff are magically imprinted into you, and you are automatically attuned to this thing. Now, let me ask you, would you like me to reveal this to everybody, or would you like me to reveal this to only you?
Reveal it to only me.
Okay.
That was the fun way to do it.
It should be in your journal.
I'm looking now. I'm looking now. Am I not seeing it in there?
Via staff. Should be in Kent's journal.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Oh, wait. You mean in the bio page or the?
No, it should be in your journal somewhere.
All right, hold on. I'm looking.
It'll be under your magic items, wherever that is in your journal.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Oh, that's fucking cool.
You are automatically attuned to this thing, by the way. Okay. Is there anything else you would like to do as part of this evening's rest?
I'd say a quick prayer how I miss Meepo. And then,
I say I would while we're bringing up Meepo, I would like to bring up, it's a shame that we never really got to know Erky that well.
Yeah, I know. We could have used his. We will miss him. We will miss his healing.
Looking around, very confused. I decide I'm not.
We had a party member die recently. Very sad.
Which one of you was that?
He's an NPC.
Okay.
The NPC I was going to have Smock play, but I wasn't able to get him in because Roll20 was going to be in a bitch that day.
That's all right. I get to play a lovely little troll.
Yeah, that you did. Okay, for the sake of expediency, you guys continue along with your rest, you continue along with your journey, and eventually you make your way to the gates of Mirabar. Now, as you approach the city, you unfortunately do not have any sort of map of the city or any sort of real direction of the city, because in fact it is illegal to make maps of the city of Mirabar, because the Council of Sparkling Stones and the guard who watch over the city are scared to death of the information regarding the city's defenses, its design, anything of the sort, getting out into the wrong hands. Fortunately, with paperwork given over to Will through the authority of the Lord's Alliance, you were able to make your way within the city. After asking around, you do note a couple of interesting things. Will, you find out that the council's central location, and where you could probably find Sir Bradford, is in a place called the Shimmer Hall. It's kind of the seat of power. Along the way, asking along, you also learn that there is a particularly useful shop called Toft's Tomes and Historical Sundries, where you think you might be able to find more information surrounding that map you found of Kundrakar. There is an inn and a tavern called the Sparkling Stone. There is a general store called Mandy's. There is a weapon and armor smith called Breton's Battleforge. And Tuck, you learned something of particular interest to you. You learned that there's actually some fighting pits within the city that that challengers or particularly skilled individuals who like to have customized attacks often will stage one-on-one duels with others in the pits, and you have a chance if you win at winning some extra gold or winning a portion of the bets.
I like it.
Now that we're inside the city, which direction is
the compass itself is pointing towards the a little bit to the northeast.
Okay. Oh, northeast now, so not northwest anymore.
Nope.
I'll take note of that.
Go to the smithy. I don't know if we have anything that we need to be doing right now, group, but if we can separate for a sec, I'll go take care of some stuff at the smithy.
Will head to the inn wants to, we should probably set up camp there as our, while we're in town.
I'll go with you.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'll go try to sell his skills as a troubadour in exchange for rooms.
Okay, you enter into the inn. The inn itself is a 3-story building, fairly rustic looking, although there are the base of the foundation itself is carved in stone, whereas the second and the third floor seem like it's wood built on top of the stone itself. There is a sign hanging over it that's in common reads "The Sparkling Stone," and you see what appears to be a two of some kind of precious gem that overlies on top of the door, and one is an artistic design that makes it look like each of them have a sheen. As you enter into the inn itself, it's a fairly large tavern. You can see, surprisingly, that the bulk of the staff here seem to be men, generally older men. And as you approach, you see an older man, maybe in his mid-50s, sporting gray hair and a full beard. And as you approach, he says, "Hello, come on in. Make yourselves at home. What can I get you today?"
Hello, good man. I'm sorry, it's a dwarf, correct?
It's a man.
It's a man. Will says, "Good day. I'm Will Ferrell Beethoven, traveling troubadour and entertainer to kings. My friends and I seek quarters for our time here in the city."
"Well, my name is Sean Connor. This is my inn."
Wow.
"And we've been looking for some entertainment here for the last couple of times. Apparently, dwarves don't make the best music unless everybody is pitch-out black drunk. I'll tell you what, if you're willing to perform for tonight, I'm willing to give you free rooms for a night, and depending on how the reception goes, I could allow you to stay for an extended period of time. How long are you thinking you might be staying in town?"
Had we discussed that, guys, out of game?
No, I don't think so.
Possibly a few days to possibly a week.
I'd like to inquire about my own room.
If you like your own personal room, the cost is about 5 gold per night.
Yikes!
He can't afford that.
Luxury accommodations.
Is this including the
This is for a single room on the second floor. There are larger rooms that accommodate groups for upwards of 2 to 3, as well as much larger rooms on the third floor that can accommodate as far as 6. The common rooms that can accommodate as far as 6 can go about 50 silver per night, and the rooms that go to 2 to 3 cost about 1 gold per night. But for your own personal room,
so the smaller rooms cost more.
The smaller rooms cost 1 gold per. The larger rooms are 50 silver
per person.
Per night.
Per night.
Per night for the room. That means the larger room is cheaper than the small one.
Correct.
But only per person.
We will require one of the larger rooms and then a smaller room for myself.
We'll grant it to you free tonight for the performance. Depending the night after that, we'll see.
Very good.
Now, is there anything else I can get you while you're here? Perhaps some drink or some food?
I'll take some wine.
Yes, actually, I am parched from my travels. Make that 2 wines, please.
Okay. He escorts you to the bar and sits you down. As he does, he goes over and takes care of some others, and you watch as another man, probably about as old as Sean there, who is maybe in his later 50s, carries.
Whoa! You broke off.
Kill. How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah, that's good.
Can't complain.
Yeah.
I wouldn't ask Kurt that.
Yeah, I mean
it's alright.
Hey, welcome back.
Check, Mike.
Yeah, you're good.
We got you.
Another older gentleman does something. That's where you ended.
Did he die again?
Not sure.
All right. So, the Will. Bardman. Tethlin? I don't know. What's your actual name?
John.
John. Okay, so out of character, yeah. Whenever you divvy up the gold, if you're including me in that count,
I've changed the calculation for everything we get going forward to a 5 shares of player equity.
So take out 10 gold from me, and then give it to whoever paid the extra gold during the pearl buying. I forget who that was.
All right, so we all did 20 then.
Yeah,
two people did 5 extra to cover your extra.
Yeah, but give them the 5 gold from the divvying.
Okay.
Like whenever you divvy it up, just give them 5 gold from me.
So consider it a debt owed, paid upon delivery of the next disbursement of player equity.
Yeah.
Got it.
Kill you there?
I think he's dead. He's dead, Jim.
In that case, I'll be right back.
All right. I'm marking the previous player equity as dispersed for the first story arc.
Right.
So look in the chat and it should tell you how much everyone gets.
There's a better photo of my character. He's curious.
Oh, Paint, while we're doing this real fast, and because we've lost Killy, right? Do me a favor real fast. Go down. Do this. I'm assuming you're listening to speakers and not a headset, correct?
No, I'm actually using a headset, but all I do is unplug my headset and I hear my speakers.
Okay, do this. You don't need to turn everything down, but we pick up literally everything around you.
That's because my headset has 2 plugs, one for the microphone, one for the headset.
Right.
Speaker plug. The microphone jack is broken.
Okay.
So I have to use the microphone on my camera, which sits on top of my monitor, which picks up everything.
Right, but
lately it's probably been pretty quiet because everyone's asleep here.
Right, but we can adjust that though.
Okay.
Down at the bottom of the screen, you have the app up?
Yeah.
Go down to the bottom of your screen. Go over to the next to the headphone thing where it says user settings.
Yep. Okay. I'm in the settings.
Okay. Go to voice and video. Okay. For input sensitivity, where is it at on your screen?
Automatically determine input sensitivity. I have that is active.
Okay. Undo that.
Okay.
Okay. Now where is the
about minus 40 decibels.
Minus 40. Okay, so we can hear you just fine at minus 40. That should be a little bit better. It probably won't pick up everything around you now. It'll probably only pick up when you're talking or strumming your instrument.
Okay, so you're hearing me fine.
I'm hearing you perfectly fine right now.
Are you hearing my instrument fine?
Yep, you're perfectly fine.
All right.
The automatic one you had. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
If it still picks up too much, do I reduce it?
No, you drag. You go to the right with it.
I increase sensitivity.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. All right. So let's leave it at 40 and see how we do. And if I need to adjust it, I will.
Yeah. I'm not a bad thing. Just saying. That may help out a little bit.
I last session, actually, I was alone in the house during the entire session, so it wasn't a factor. So I just left myself on, I pushed to not talk.
Yeah, well,
because
if this works right, and it's picking up only, like, kind of your direct, what do you call it? You may be able to leave that on, and it's not going to pick up the entire room.
Right.
Okay.
We're hearing those dings, so it's picking up your
Good.
instrument.
I think that's the intention.
Yes.
That's the key of A. A.
Okay. I assume
A.
both
The
are okay.
Fonzie says A.
All right.
Approaches with drinks.
Yep. Older man approaches with drinks. He lays them on the table. You get your drinks, and he says, "Can I get you boys anything else?"
Not for now, I think.
Well, before he leaves, Pant, do you have any questions about the city or anything that we're going on that I don't like? I'm not saying that I don't know about, but I know why we're here. We came here with you. But if you're looking for someone or something or anything like that, maybe ask the barkeep or the waiter if he's heard anything.
Well, the Will already knows that Shimmer Hall, seat of power, Mirabar, is where the movers and shakers would be, and that's likely where I'll find Sir Bradford. That's my next port of call after I relax and have my wine and recover from the rigors of travel.
Okay.
I asked the barkeep if what's the regulations of gambling in the city.
Like he says, I don't think much of the people here really care about gambling. There's no real law that prohibits it.
All right. I'm just making sure. As
John Connery turned into Christopher Walken all of a sudden.
That's what I was just thinking.
I forgot the accent. This is the barkeep.
There's no prohibitions.
There's no prohibitions to gambling here.
All right. I've been kicked out of a few cities in the past for gambling, so just thought I'd double check before I went hunting.
I would make it a point not to do it too much to the noblemen around the area, although many folks like to gamble at the fighting pits.
Not really my style, though. I'll keep that in mind, though. Thanks.
Suit yourself.
It's almost like Elmer Fudd.
What was
I'll have to pull that one.
Tomes and Sundries place again?
Toff's Tomes and Historical Sundries. You would have gotten that location just by asking around.
Toff's Tomes and Historical
Sundries.
That's probably where I'm going to want to check out at some point.
That's where we'll take the map.
Okay.
And any other research you think, like maybe on there was something I thought we should study. I can't remember what it is for the life of me now, but okay, that's fine.
Okay. While this is going on, Kurt, you've made your way over to the armor smith that you've heard about while they're over at the inn, and you walk into this place, and this is a one-story building. Although you hear the clanging of hammer on an anvil as you approach, and the air here is noticeably hotter, presumably from the fires of blacksmithing forge. The sign overhead has two axes overlaid on top of an anvil, and it reads Breton's Battle Forge. And as you enter into this armory, you can see all sorts of manners of axes and swords and great swords and great axes and just a whole row of weapons lining up the walls, and a few suits of armor neatly laid out, although most of them appear to be dwarven sized. There are at least a few human-sized armaments kind of scattered about on clothing, what would be clothing racks, but for armor. And as you walk in, you can see, somewhat to your surprise, there's a dwarven woman who looks to be relatively young, at least as far as dwarves go, and she has a shock blonde hair that has been very tightly and neatly braided, that going all the way down to her back, almost to the bottom half of her back. And as you enter in, she looks very not like you would expect from walking to a blacksmith, where it'd be just somebody covered in soot or whatever makes up whatever you would expect a blacksmith to be kind of covered in, that dirt and everything. But this woman almost looks to be maybe in sort of a noblewoman's garb, and very, very clean. And as you enter into this place, she gives you a raised eyebrow because she's not used to seeing Wanti, and she says, "Can I help you?"
Yes, my good woman. I am in search of someone to craft me some very light armor. I was wondering if you could help.
Exactly what kind of light armor are we discussing, hon?
Well, my name's Kurt. You can call me that if you want.
Pleasure. I am Breton.
Oh, nice to meet you. Oh, of Breton's Battleforge. Do you own this establishment?
I do indeed.
That's really cool.
Thank you. It runs in the family.
Father's side or mother's side?
Father's side. My father was a smith for many generations. It runs on that side of the family.
For a human, I didn't hear. Let's say hypothetically, I had a dead baby dragon's head. Could we craft this into a helmet or a shoulder pad of some sort? It doesn't have to really be for protection, just for show.
She kind of wanders back and says, I'm afraid taking the scales off of a dragon isn't really our specialty, but if you can collect the scales, we might be able to make something out of it. It depends, I suppose, on how much there is.
I was thinking more of like the bones of the dragon. Like I'd like to preserve the bones. The skin and the scales aren't really what I'm after. I'm not looking to make scale mail. I'm not really a strong guy to wear something like that. But
well, perhaps we might be able to make some sort of bone shoulder pad that's dragon's bones.
Ooh, that sounds cool. All right, well, if we can't do the helm, I'll settle for a shoulder pad, but I still need to get it skinned, though. Is that what you're saying?
I'm afraid we won't be able to do the skinning of any sort of dragon's head here, and she looks kind of disgusted by the idea.
That's not a problem.
And as she says that, you hear one of the dwarves from kind of in the back goes, a male dwarf who is covered in blackened soot goes, give us a little bit of time. We might be able to do something. And she very quickly snaps her head back around and with an almost shrill voice yells, "Shut it and get back to the forge!" I apologize, my dear.
Well, do you have any suggestions on where I could go to get this neatly skinned? I don't want to hurt any of what will be my future armor,
She says, I'm afraid that the city here is does not have much in the way of leatherworking, but perhaps you might be able to find a leatherworker's shop. There is a leatherworker, an elf actually, by the name of Eloine, a lady actually. She's about 2 blocks down the road.
Right. Thank you. I appreciate it, and I'll be back as soon as I can.
Okay.
I'll head down the street, I guess, and talk to Eloine.
Okay, you head down the street, you enter into the smell of leather overwhelms you as you walk into the shop. This is a relatively smaller shop. It seems maybe much of the humans and the dwarves here don't care as much for leather armor as they might plate. As you enter in, most of the leather work that surrounds this area is mostly clasps made to wear and belts and a couple of mostly mining boots and shoes and things of that nature. And as you enter in, you see a dwarven woman who looks to be relatively aged, not maybe equivocable to a man or a woman in their early 40s. She looks up and she says, "Can I help you, sir?"
Hi there. I'm looking for Eloine. I've been told that she might help me with a project I'm working on.
You're looking at her. How can I help you?
Hi. I am looking to remove the scales and skin from a dragon's head. Is there anything you could do to help me?
That shouldn't be too much of a problem. How large a dragon head are we talking?
Dragon, so a little bit larger than my head, but not too large. Looking to preserve the bones as best as possible, and as many scales as I can get, without taking too much damage.
Very well.
If we were to do this work, how much would it cost me?
The work itself would take about 2, maybe 3 hours at best, and the labor necessary to do that. And you see she kind of waves her hand in the air, and she actually weaves what looks to be a minor illusion. You can see with script a number of numbers kind of being waved in the air as if she's doing some sort of minor illusion calculator. And she looks back at you and says, "The total cost of labor should cause it to be about 15 gold pieces."
Okay, that was a little more than I was expecting, but the price of beauty, and fine as long as you can leave me with the number of pristine scales off of this dragon's head. I don't see why we can't do that. And
scaling a dragon and preserving its bones is difficult work, but nothing I can't handle.
Okay. All right, I hand her over the baby dragon head and say I'll be back in a few hours. Unless you
Very
need,
well,
need
and
the full day or whatever.
she hands you a receipt notifying the transaction has been made, and she hands it over to you.
I leave.
Okay. You meet
I'll
up
head to
with your
the inn
buddies.
to meet up with
All right.
everyone. Yep.
All right. The rest of you are in the inn. You watch as your hunt ranger meets up with you guys again. What have you done with your snake in the time being? Is it still with you?
And sure, yeah.
Okay, it's
I don't
wrapped
see
around
why
your arm. There's a couple of people who kind of try to, as you wander through the street, are kind of steering their way clear of you. Not sure what to make of all of this, but
Flying
a couple
snake,
of
I can see that.
a couple, mostly dwarves, seem like they just don't give a damn. It's not the weirdest thing they've seen here. But as you enter into the inn, one of the compatriots over at the inn says, "Now you make sure that snake don't give us any trouble."
Absolutely, I have it under control, sir.
Whatever you say. And he wanders back over to deal with the rest of the food. You meet up with your compatriots in the inn.
Hey guys, just for expedience sake, it is midnight here.
I'll probably call it.
This would probably be a good place to call it. Yeah.
It's 1 a.m. here. Hey.
Yeah, it's
Alright.
it's about where our normal time is. So if you want to call it here, you've arrived in Mirabar, taking care of some preliminary business, and we can continue the adventure in the city
Very
next
good.
Wednesday.
Awesome. Killy, as always, a highlight. Very well done.
Thank you.
That's great.
Thank you. I'm enjoying where you're taking my compass. I'll be curious to see where it actually ends up.